Hello everybody, it is yours truly, CaneFan701. I am back tonight for a part 3 special throwback on the Ghost Train 2, the Clinchfield Curse. As you know, apparently for the last couple of 2 streams that we've been doing on here, we've been having an absolute blast. We've been absolutely having a laugh, having some fun together, and kind of reminiscing a little bit, and some of you people giving your opinions and your thoughts about how this film was and how you remembered it when you first saw it. Now, I've got to let you know is that, we're approaching the climax of the film as we get the final build up and build up, the whole thing surrounding 311 and the rest of how the story would tell itself and how the engines of America was spoken about it from their point of view. But of course, the encounters that the engines and Sodor had. And of course, the shoehorned quote unquote return of Timothy, which I have to say was forced in because the fans wanted to see that, even though I have admitted a couple of times, I wanted it to happen too. But, it was what was done at the time and what was delivered. And as I said in my last stream, if I were to have redone this movie, it would be a bit similar, but there would be plenty of changes that would follow it if that were to happen. So with that being said, I've left you the link in the in the chat if you guys want to pop in and hop on board. We can continue on with this throwback special. Like I said, if you don't have to join, it's entirely up to you. But if you want, to join in and really, actually be a part of this, you're more than willing to. Let's just see who else will be with us eventually. Hopefully we can find others to join sooner or later. Apologies if I'm a little bit quiet here, lads. I'm just making sure if everybody else is going to join in regardless. Okay, it seems like we'll be okay for the time being. Okay, it seems like I'll be on my own for a while before someone comes in. Let's see what we got then. So I'm just going to get this up there. Oh, Astro Boy popped in. Hello, Astro Boy. Long time no see.
Long time no see, Kane. How's it been?
It's been well, how should I say, very tough for the last couple of months, but I've pulled through. I've beaten COVID twice. I've done a very good job in like dealing with the new jab I had as well to protect me, as well as the flu jab. So I'm cold protected for another 12 months. Yeah, just
interesting.
Yeah, but like I said, I've had a lot of real life personal issues which I don't want to talk about. Facing the fact that you're gonna move on, make newer friends, and of course, be more wary of who I'm hanging around with. Yeah, I've had a lot of tough personal things have been going on since the summer of this year. I'll tell you that much. But since then, things have gradually been on an even playing level. So, yeah, you could say everything's kind of back to as it was before, somewhat. But as you know, we've done recently 2 streams on the 311 film.
I see.
Of course, the special throwback is good to look back on and do a better review on it. Just basically have a laugh and have some fun over it. But at the same time, trying to explain why it was this way and how did that scene turn out and what was the original ideas. But at the same time, I'm just trying to keep it at best and just keep it for fun as it was. If anybody else who wants to collaborate with me will have their own ideas or don't really care about it, it's just fine with me because there would be a lot of unsettled BS stuff that would have followed on afterwards. But like I said before, what was done then was made as it was, and of course, I do bear some of the miscommunication that happened in the post productions of it. Like I said, this film did tear down a lot of stuff, and I was,
yeah,
being looked upon. Part of my yawning, guys. I literally can't stop yawning. I guess I'm a little fatigued tonight. I guess who knows. But in any cases, though,
I know
it's
how
just
that feels because every time I go to work, I felt sometimes I yawn too.
mm. But besides all that, lads, like I said, the film is still regarded as one of the best ever. I mean, I know people have their opinions. If they don't like it, they don't have to. There are others who kind of like it for the plot telling, and there are those who love it for basically for the sake of just enjoying something a bit fresh and a bit different. You know, especially with how times have changed, where other guys are using American or Australian steam engines on a quote unquote American, I mean British rail thing, because Soda is part of England, and yet people forget, it's just a game, a video thing. We can use our imagination, and since then others have been doing this. Victor Tanzig has done it a couple of times. Other guys have been doing it, so they got away with a lot of cool stuff and fun. And when I was using it, people always kept on banging and saying, well, why are you using American steam engines? The Australians won't fit on their line or whatever. This is just, bullshit and whatnot, you know. And I just don't get it. Others who I've collaborated have done the same thing, and they're not getting any hammering about it. So why me and others? I mean, heck, we've seen it happen with the model railway trains prior to using in trains the video game, and that was accepted. So yeah, I'm just saying, all the different times then and now, it's just crazy, man. Oh, hey there, CSAK. Nice to see you. How are you coping, pal?
I know how that feels today. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic. My friend needs help.
Okie dokie. Again, Castlefire, it's nice to see you, mate. I was aware of what went down with your last video, man. I'm sorry to hear about that, pal. Um, Again, I'm with you on this, support you whenever you need me, you know. Okay, then, I'm very aware about that. Again, I was concerned of why you hadn't been very active, but again, I have, made sure that you're okay, because you've done so much for me and I could do anything in return to praise you as a good friend. So, anyways, let's just be sure we'll continue with our part three. If I can get some other ones to join in if they need to. I have got the link at the top. If you want to go up to the top of the chat, just hit the link in there and you'll be joining us.
And I'm back.
Okay, Astro, I'll get ready.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to tell you a plan that I'm making if I manage to reach 100 subs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a special video for the 100 sub special, but I can't even tell yet because I don't want to spoil the surprise to the viewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I saw the video that you made about the tragic day of 1912, the Titanic.
Yes. Look, I know I haven't done. Yeah, I did part one of the streaming. I was going to do more, but the fact was because I didn't do part two or anything else. That was because of the aftermath of the tragedy. Because I always stay up until 2:20 in the morning. I mean 2:30 in the morning because that was the time the Titanic hit the ocean floor. So yeah, but at the same time, I've done well with the quote unquote retelling of Titanic coming to Sodor because I've still got it to do. I just have to figure out how I'm going to make the ending because I've done so well in the first and second part of it, but the writing is just so difficult. I am currently suffering from quote unquote writer's block with a lot of things.
Yeah, but
It's just that
I just
It's just that
felt
you think you have
very.
it, and all of a sudden it just goes off, and that's the frustrating thing I've had lately. When I'm focused on one thing, I'll try and do another, and then it just basically just becomes too much.
Well, yeah, I know the feeling. Sometimes I always took each term one at a time because I got so many requests from my friends on my Discord server. I got to do one of my friends like Kid Lads, Alex Trainboy, and mostly sometimes Jason's requests too.
I think I recognize that guy, Alex. I think his name rings a bell to me. I don't know if it does or not.
Yeah, and he was the one that also kind of did the. Um, I'm not even going to mention those three names again, since you know
It's all right,
about.
pal. It's fine, pal. If you want to, you can, honestly.
Yeah, because the thing that he and I mostly do is that we do several parts of trying to expose the Omni King brats.
Oh, yes, I remember. The last time I heard it was all in your favour. We've been doing a lot of. There's been a lot of that lately in the Thomas fandom. I've learnt the hard way that there's like I've had to deal with a lot of backstabbing and a lot of other guys, just to leave me in peace. And again, I hate to bring other guys. I don't want to bring their names up at all because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of those who gave me no end of grief. Because I think Castiel totally knows what I'm talking about. Because if you remember Astro Boy, during this rest of this year, I've come a few times to just want to end everything and just never come back because of you know, about my previous past problems I had in the past, some going back 10 to 15 years prior, but when I was a different person. And it just really hurt me. I mean, and of course,
Yeah,
because I basically had my private life, as who I was, just slandered, and it was just horrible. Like I said before, I was different then. I'm not the same as I am now compared to then, when I was very immature and just when I was very talented. I guess I will say that it's kind of funny actually because I was well spoken, very well talented, and could do just about anything you would want me to do. But I was a very immature person, mainly on the inside at times. I wasn't quite the man I thought I was, and it has buggered me a few times. And I feel others might be in the same boat as I am. So I'm trying to relate and reach out to others who have had worse problems than I have, but have had similar backlashing to the point where they just couldn't handle it. And I've had a very, like I said, this year's been quite emotional for me because I've done a lot of rebounding, and it doesn't really matter if I try and reconnect with some people who want to move on and start fresh or not. It's really up to them, really. But
I
the
know
fact,
how that feels.
but the fact,
Essentially, it happened. It actually happened to Drain Boy 11 one time. Since, well,
look,
you know,
listen, look,
Keystone Soldier.
look, Astro Boy. I had want nothing to do with Troy Boy 11 ever again. I broke away from him because I felt it was I had intentions to. It's just the fact is that just keep in mind. I mean, he can talk a lot of what about him if he wants to, but the fact is, I just didn't feel comfortable being with him anymore. And just like I said, and I do believe he was being behind my back. It's just the fact is that I just didn't have the trust for him anymore. But I don't because not because I don't hate him. It's because Astro. I just didn't feel like he was who I thought he was. So I do what I feel was the honorable thing, just leave and just not just, get involved anymore with his problems. Like he's had it with another guy of mine who I will not speak to of because of the horrible betrayal he gave to me. And I'm not talking about Train Boy 11, I'm talking about somebody else.
Hmm.
Someone that he knew. That's all I'll say. Either
Yeah.
ways, like I said, enough with the negativity. We've got all the viewers who have come off now. But someone's popped back in now. So let's try and continue with our pathway. We kind of, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if we kind of spilled the negativity bottle there, but that was something I just really had to tell Astro about. Okay, so
And I have this question that comes in my mind most of the
what
time.
would that be?
You know about the film of the Titanic, right? Wasn't that just like, an explanation of like what exactly happened years ago?
Wait, you mean the one with James Cameron's film,
Yeah.
the classic Titanic movie? That was supposed to be like a real and fantasy thing altogether, with the real sinking, with Jack and Rose. It was basically a Romeo and Juliet out at sea type of thing.
So like this film, it actually gives us an explanation of what was like there.
Well, of course, it's like we were sent back in time if you were there. Just remember, back in 1997, we were already learning of what we knew back then compared to what we have seen in the last couple of years since that time.
Ah.
That was during my childhood when I was in, because I believed at the time that was how it was like that night. when it all unfolded,
Ah,
and it's still, and a lot of us still thought that way too. But ever since then, newer things have popped up ever since, and it's changed a lot. But it's still the best Titanic movie, period, regardless for a Hollywood movie.
yeah. It's like supposed to be like it's a be like the real event in 1912, right?
Yeah, it was as if you went back into a time machine and then you're right there. Look, if you ever see the documentary that was done 10 years ago, which was called Titanic, The Final Word with James Cameron, you will understand a bit more as well. It does talk a bit about the movie. It talks about slightly here and there and whatnot. You need to see that because that was it is a must see documentary. You can find it somewhere.
I see.
So
Also,
you
I
should.
forgot the name of the team that once found the Titanic. What was the name of the team that found it?
You mean the team that Dr. Robert Ballard found, the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution?
I
Yeah, those
think,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's them. They're the ones who found Titanic in 1985. Yeah, they did.
And then
Along with
and that film also did the same way of that too.
no, 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 no. Since then, Titanic had long since been discovered by that point. It's
Well,
not
the
quite
thing
ocean.
is, someone made a video of what was like if the Titanic would disappear, like
Look,
falling down into pieces.
but that's something we don't talk about the decaying, disintegrating of the wreck itself. It's just, that's something I tend to avoid a lot with because it's the inevitable thing that's going to happen. But I know people keep bashing me about the whole replica of Titanic, and that's the only way we can bring the original back. Like,
Yeah, yeah, because I saw a video about someone is making a plan of the Titanic 2. You
yes,
just remind me about that.
I know. The thing is, look, I know people don't believe me. It's never going to happen. But I've not been told that the project is over. And I do think it should happen. Like, I still believe, even yeah. Look, people can disagree with me if they want to. The fact is,
Like
I just feel that building a replica of Titanic, even for one to set sail on, is the ultimate tribute, and of course, because
like
we all know what the original looked like. We've known it
like
from
you
film,
mean
but to see it, but
like the project would not canceled?
yeah, it's not been cancelled. I've not heard anything yet. The thing is, it's time for us in our generation to see what it would have looked like. As if it never left us, and it's the only way you can preserve a living legend. Basically, resurrecting, getting a new body, but then bringing the soul back to life. That's
Hold
how I
on.
would.
I think I hear a freight train coming this way.
Oh boy!
Yeah,
Tell you what, guys.
I'm at a work with my dad right here, and I see a freight train coming this way, right behind the train tracks.
Well, at least you're lucky. At least you're lucky to see trains come passing by. At least you got a nice vantage point to see railroading coming by.
Yep. And here it comes.
I hear it. Uh,
There it is.
all right, lads. I'm about to get ready. I think we're ready to rock and roll now. I think I can hear it. That's really cool. We all
I figured that the train home was too loud, so I think maybe because I had to mute because I think the mic might pick up the horn.
Yes, there's two Titanic replicas. That one definitely is still going, but the other one that Clive Palmer's doing has not been cancelled because we've not heard anything yet about it. Okay. All right.
Oh,
So
see,
now,
okay, one thing in the film of the Titanic, you know the song that's called "My Heart Will Go On," right?
yes, the one Celine Dion sang. Yes, one of my childhood songs I grew up with. I know. Oh, hey, Sash.
One of my friends named Jurassic Verse 64, he told me that when he listened to the song, he actually he left a tear when he listened to it.
Well, of course, it's basically the love song of Titanic. I mean, even I tear up with it, not because of the actual song itself. I just, because back then I looked at it as a normal Celine Dion song at the time, and I didn't believe the Titanic thing was for real because the name didn't sound real until I learned about it at the age of 5. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, it was so strange. It's just that nowadays, have you know, my own interest with it. Like I said, there have been many covers of it. Like I said, but nowadays I tend to think of it as Titanic's theme, and I know it's a bit silly, guys. Just bear with me here. We're off topic a little bit, but that's what happens in these streams. The thing is, though, every time I hear like the voicing in the film, like in the soundtrack, something called "A Hymn to the Sea" or something in the soundtrack, it's something called like that. Or what's the other one? It's called "Wait for an Absolution That Would Never Come" or whatever it's called. And in the music you hear in the beginning, I always like to hear that as the voice of Titanic actually singing, almost as if that's kind of nowadays how I like to hear it as almost.
And you actually kind of know about the Titanic's sister ship, right?
Yeah, I know about all the three sisters. The Olympic and the Britannic. Yeah, I know. I'm a long time Titanic buff. I've learned it since I was little.
Yeah, but I can't believe that the Olympic was soon scrapped in the 1930s.
I know that would have been the only closest we would have had to actually seeing what it
Exactly.
would have looked
I
like.
would just I would just imagine if the ship would actually be in preserved.
Okay, I'm not sure how you do this. How do you do like a meditator or whatever it is?
Hmm.
Hello, Brandon.
Good evening.
Hello, how you doing, bud?
Hello. Doing pretty good. I see that once
What?
again you're
What?
continuing
What's?
the.
Yeah, Sasha's with us too. What's with the whole thing with your name change there, Mr. Brandon?
What do you mean? I am. Oh, you mean the Leonard Nimoy?
This there.
Yeah,
What's with
yeah.
that's all about?
Leonard Nimoy. Leonard
Yeah.
Nimoy was a famous artist in a sci-fi show called Star Trek. He was he was of course Captain Spock himself. Uh, I mean, yes, and I do agree that the Olympique should have been saved before it met its vital end. I mean, but of course, eyewitness accounts have said eyewitness accounts for those that have witnessed the scrapping of the Olympique said that they've heard screams from of the ship as it was being cut up. So, however, However, I'm sure that that both ships are united into the heavens, and once
Well,
once the heavens open up, that
we'll say
we'll have
hello
the
and you have to laugh. No, Brandon, how do you get people when you add them as a meditate, Mediract, or whatever it's called? Because that's what
a
Sasha's
moder
asking.
a moderator.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Okay, that's a bit more of an advanced sort of thing. That like, all right.
Because that's
So
what Sasha's
basically,
asking.
Okay.
Don't ask me. It's Sasha. I don't know how we do that.
okay, so basically, you would have to do it in the settings of your channel, and then
Oh, I see. Like in
and you
their
would have
team.
to and you would have there's a section called moderators, and then I'll send you a link. It'll help you.
All right, then I'll think about that. Again, Sasha, I'm doing good. If you want to join in, the link's right there, pal. If you want to pop in, I have left it there for you, and then we're going to continue on with the Clinchfield thing after that. I know, guys, we've gone off topic, but again, it's fine. Almighty BT and SP 4449 fan, dude, stop asking too many times. I can only join people if I can. All right, it's just how it goes.
I would still imagine if 4449 would still be wearing the Kodachrome paint scheme.
Of course, it would.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
I
very
see.
true because over the years, like Jay has gone through so many transformations.
Hang on a
So,
second. Wait. Hang on a second. Are you telling me that's who I think it is?
well, that
Oh
that
my!
is the name. That is the name of SP449 fan. Like,
Wait, are you telling me
like
this guy here with us is actually Jay, my former buddy?
no, I don't think so.
Because you
I
just said
would.
Jay's gone transformationing or whatever the hell.
That's not. No. Look. No, look. Basically, Astro Boy. SB4449 Fan 1 well, he is actually the main creator of Stories in the States, which will be released in a couple of years' time.
I
Uh,
hope it
he,
does. It feels like it's been cancelled if whatever the hell that's going to happen.
it hasn't been canceled. There's a multitude of reasons why episode 1 has not been released. So, um, Actually, Robert Johnson, that's a story for another day when it comes to Ghost Train II.
Listen,
Because
listen,
Ghost Train
Robert.
I,
No,
huh?
it means Ghost Train 2, dude. Listen, Robert Johnson. Look, I'm not. It's not a reboot. Listen, it would basically be something like how would it have looked like from my perspective? You know, it would be dubbed as the Kane Fan 701 version. You could say almost.
And I would also still imagine if the ATSF 3751 would also be wearing the Kodachrome paint scheme.
Who
Well,
knows?
I'm pretty
I
sure
hope.
that
Who knows?
uh, it's a really hard to say, really hard to say on that. It could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen at this point, Astro. At this point. Anyways, so let's get prepared now. I think we're ready to.
Yes, let's
So
get the
let's.
baking.
So
Let's
let me.
prepare the baking.
Okay, let's
Okay.
just. Okay, let me just recap where we left off. This is when you were gone, Brandon. At this time, where we left off
Nice.
in the last part of the film, where we left up where Ariel and Edward, aka Pennsylvania number 1223 and Edward NWR number 2, had this a very emotional scenery where they spoke about 311 in the past, and we saw the flashback of how Ariel got affected by 311's ghost and how she nearly lost her life at that time, and how she's still been traumatized to this very day about it. And of course, it was one of the first tear jerking parts of the film. And of course, as you will know, Edward decides to take Maz into his own buffers, so to speak, and tries to confront the ghost of the Clinchfield curse herself. And of course, at this point, Edward is actually gambling with his life, not realizing he could be killed off any time if 311 decide to. Like I said before, this story was dark, gripping with emotion and tragedy, and just it was like anything I ever envisioned it was going to be. But again, I know I spent 2 years putting it together, and I'm glad to look. I know it's a bit. I wouldn't say gut wrenching. Brandon can understand why, because the fact is, despite everything that happened post production behind the scenes, the film was a worth making movie, and I don't have any shame about it in terms of there's nothing to be regretful of or remorseful about it. But I will say, I just wish they could have ended on a better note, and I will admit, had I been listened to a little bit more, if I could have listened better to those who were with me at the time or whatnot, who knows where we would have ended up. But there's one thing I would refuse to say is I was not going to have this cancelled, even though I would have had to have it done by force. But I did. The reason why I didn't do that is because I didn't want to disappoint the audience, and because everybody was loving the build up towards the story. And of course, I'm just that type of a guy who would never say that, because that's basically, you know, that's my attitude. You get a project done and you work your backside off until it's done. That's how I was brought up. It's the same thing in the industry in media and filming. You continue working as best you can until you get it done.
Well, that's true, but we must. Okay, here's an example. Steven Spielberg's very first film, like he was given 2 weeks to produce and shoot the film. However, like he was because of some technical difficulties and some glitches on set, he was given an extra couple days, and before you know it, Do Old became a hit. It was a huge success.
It's that,
I mean,
yeah. Basically, I was, told I was going to have an extra 5 months until then. And I actually beat the deadline, you know, prior to Halloween or whatever it was in 2017, and I made it just by under a month. So
Have you
again,
guys also watched the new Mario movie trailer?
no,
yeah,
I'm sorry, mate. I
yes.
I kind of
The new Mario trailer is awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so gonna watch that. It looks so beautiful. Like,
I don't know why, but I've kind of lost a little bit of my touch with the whole Mario stuff, despite the fact I will check it out, as Brennan says it is. If it is how it is, I can only imagine how other fans are going to react. But I will check it out.
the
Mark my
film won't
words.
be out. Like the Mario film won't be out till next year. That's the thing. So
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll see that. we'll just see how it goes, and if it does work, then who knows? It might give my interest back into Mario and Nintendo.
It, it'll be
It,
just
it,
like
it, it
Sonic.
all it all depends, okay? It all depends on what will happen, okay? And it even
Yeah, but
depends on
it'll be
how this
just like
generation. It's how this
it'll be
generation will take it.
right. But it'll be just like the Sonic films, like because like remember when Sonic first came out and we first saw the first designs of Sonic, they looked horrific, but then they changed it to what it actually is,
Yeah,
and so
when the actual real fans actually the real fans of Sonic told him you gotta correct this, correct that, and then he's fine, and look where it went. It works.
like
So
it's
if they
such a rarity for it's a rarity for the producers and the directors is to realize and realize their mistake, and then they corrected that mistake, and now Sonic is as he should be. I mean,
well, I still recognize him from the animated series and whatnot. I mean, the live version of Sonic, it might take a longer while for me to get used to, even though I will admit it was quite funny. So I'm
was
thinking
amazing. I
if they
mean,
can
And
do
if
the
they
same
did,
I was
Sonic,
kind of also very, very pumped up for the third movie too.
I was quite.
oh
I
yes,
was. I was quite. I will admit, I was a bit surprised they had Jim Carrey in the movie as Doctor Robotnik. You know,
yes, or
that
Doctor
was.
Beeching, but the thing is
You
like.
mean Doctor? Oh, he's not Doctor Beeching, Brandon. Stop messing with his name. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, okay, but the thing is, Jim Carrey, even though he said he was going to retire after the second film, there is rumor that he may reprise his role as Dr. Eggman for
Yeah,
the third and
I know.
final.
I know he's
Like,
called Doctor Eggman. I know that's his other name, but I always call him Doctor Robotnik because that's how I knew who he was.
oh yes, but now the thing is, like, now here's the thing: if live action did so well with Sonic, if they did so well with the Transformers franchise, especially with Rise of the Beast coming out next year, like imagine with Mario, or maybe even next, maybe and the heck they even did a live action Winnie the Pooh, like with Christopher Robin.
Yes,
That
that
was
was
such a
that was good.
like
Yeah, like I said, if they can bring, like you just said, I agree with that. I was just going to say, if they can do it to Sonic and then do it to Mario, perhaps if we're going to see a live, somewhat video game Nintendo version of Mario rather than just real human playing him, we'll see how that goes. And hopefully they can try and get the actual voice actor to make him speak Italian as well.
The only thing, how come? To be fair, I mean, Sonic and Mario both have their own, movies. To be fair, but I kind of wish that Capcom would announce that Mega Man might be able to have his own live action movie.
It depends on what will happen, Astro Boy. I mean, hell, now that I think about it, I can remember one time they did Mario and Sonic in a crossover once, and I thought, now if they can do that in a live version, imagine what the
well,
actual community would react to that. Mario
I mean,
meets Sonic live action.
it could happen because if you like in some of the older like video games, you can actually have the option to play as Sonic and Mario in the same game, whether it's in the like in sporting games or even in
That's what I
campaign mode
mean.
games.
That's what I mean. If what they did was something based on an actual sporting event and had to from different universities come together to hold an event or something like that, or
I mean,
you
That
know,
that
it
would
could
be awesome.
it could happen. It could happen like maybe let's say the Mario movie does well, and then they make a sequel, and the sequel is Mario meets Sonic and Sonic's friends and whatnot,
yeah,
and then and
it's basically Nintendo meets Sega to be in a way.
in a way now and then of course that could actually lead to a possible Mega Man film because of
Oh,
course
now Capcom definitely have done well lately. I mean, I know because I'm a big Street Fighter fan, and of course I love M Bison because he's the best villain of them
Yeah,
all.
well, mostly sometimes in the Mega Man X series, there are several lots of Street Fighter references there.
Oh yes,
exactly
there
because
is.
now imagine this. Imagine if there's a live action Contra film. Now Contra, that would be amazing because Contra, like, that like the video game series was just phenomenal. But imagine
Oh,
if
it
we
was.
see, I
I,
mean,
I didn't play the game, Brandon, but I do admit it was quite cool. Even though I tried to, I don't know why. It just kind of, I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't kind
I
of.
understand what you're saying.
It's
I mean,
good. Don't get me wrong. It's brilliant because I played Marvel versus Capcom, and it has Mega Man in there as well. It's
Don't
probably.
forget, don't forget about Zero too.
Oh yeah, and Zero too. Yeah.
oh
We'll
yes.
go back at this another time afterwards. Now, guys, I think we've kind of gone way
Oh
far.
yeah, 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 yeah. Let's
Let's get
let's
that.
Bingo,
yes.
right, right,
If
right,
this
right. Yeah.
happens, but basically, we're doing that to pass the time if others want to join as well, if they
Oh,
wish
of
to.
course, absolutely. I
If there's
mean,
Oh,
anybody then,
definitely.
Brandon, if there's anybody else who pops in, just let me know because I'm on full screen, so I can't quite see anything.
okay, we will let you know if anyone is,
All right.
interested in joining this
Yeah.
particular enjoying this particular universe that we're in.
If
This
anybody,
beautiful.
if anybody likes the review of the Clinchfield film, you can always check out my good old buddy Lego Man Master, or whatever his name was. He did the best reviews on my other two films in the past. He's that one who's that good old American who loves Civil War and Star Wars. You might find him on there, and he's really really good. You know.
Yes, I mean, of course, and of course, also highly recommend you check out my review on this film because let's just say I was literally on the island of Sodor, like trying to run away while trying to review the film.
Yes, and that's another thing. If any of you guys don't know, that's how I got to know Brandon better because of that movie. It was hilarious, a bit strange, but I liked what he did. It still ranks as the most funniest review ever. Um, like I said, Brandon, I liked what you were trying to do there. I mean, if you ever did that in today's time by now, I'm pretty sure it would be even superb with what you've got now.
Yeah,
Like
let's just
the
say a
hard
bit
drive
of
you've got.
yeah, a bit of After Effects, like and like 5 hours of editing later. Yeah, like but now that I have some better like upgraded software, I if I were to do a remastered version, then yes, you'd probably see more of my body, in the shot.
Who knows? Maybe you could give it a try. Maybe as a celebration. Who knows? But in any cases, Brandon, if I and I'm not going to lie to you, if I was to do a remake of this, like I said, there's a good chance you might find yourself in it. Out of
Also,
mutual.
I'm planning on something on my channel. So basically, I'm planning to order a special package from Japan, and it's gonna be a model train from there, and I'm probably gonna do an unboxing and review video on my channel.
Well, that'll be nice.
Nice. It-
Yep. That'll be
of course,
me.
that's a story for another day with what the actual engine is. I
Here's
mean,
Okay. Here we go with part eight. This is where we left off from. There's Bear
yes,
making another cameo. Edward's going backwards, 10 to first. Well, obviously.
yeah, because his ejector failed, so that's why. Uh,
No. It wasn't like what happened to Henry. Okay, that's not a reference to Super Rescue here.
of course, I was kind of like a reference. I was referencing it. I even though
Yeah,
Even though Edward did not have a failed ejector, and even though even though I mean Bear Grylls was right next to him, it was
as you can see here, though, in this shot, this was one of Mr. Ortez's shots at the time. This was done twice to get it correct. Dave's in the background. There's Stanley, and of course, there's one of. I'm pretty sure that is one of his OCs. I couldn't remember who it was. And there's, because just in this, if you remember back in the day, this version was done in a multi-Thomas universe, which is one of the reasons why it was pretty difficult to, to keep it as it was. And that's something I've learned. Like, sometimes multi-universing into one project doesn't always work out.
indeed.
Okay, let's see this video.
And there's the Fat Controller. I didn't know he was there at the time until I realized it.
Yeah,
Oh
he
boy.
was he was
Yeah, he was.
asserting his the Fat
Yeah, he was.
Controller was asserting his dominance in that scene.
Yeah, he was there. I didn't even know he was. I didn't know he was there until I had a good look, and I realized, oh, it's just the Fat Controller. I thought it
Uh,
was somebody else. And of course,
okay,
Bond is making a cameo.
so basically, Robert, the Black B-12, that is not Lenny. This was before Lenny. And it's another OC that I know who it is. So,
It looks like it
oh
though.
yeah, and there's the very scrapyard where Trevor the Tractor almost died.
Trevor the Traction Engine. Yeah. Well, in Fallout he didn't, anyways. But this is a Kronk scrapyard. Where
Stark by the time he reached the scrapyard.
Well, where
this.
everyone's named
Mostly
Trevor.
I
Yeah.
just mostly don't even like about the scrapyard because for what I've known, because steam engines were replaced by diesels since 1950s.
Yeah. But this.
Well, the truth is, though, diesels themselves were also replaced. It was evident in the truth about scrap.
Yes,
Uh,
that is true. That is true.
I mean, Ari learns the truth. That's another story. Like, Ari thought that, oh, this and that, but then the diesels that were waiting their fates, like, or telling Ari the whole story, and then then there you go. Like pretty much they were
Yeah, the
all
rest is
standing in
history.
their sidings, all rested up, all
But the
great.
current scrapyard in here wasn't as bad. I mean, it was only a small place, but at the same time, this was really
Oh
cool.
yeah, and of course I would presume that's where the half engine was scrapped. So
Same here. Same here.
I'm not, I was very surprised that the Pennsylvania Railroad's GG1 actually survived many years since the 1930s and into the 1980s.
indeed,
Kind of wish that we would see the GG1 running again. So that would be cool, though.
I know in America that they are actually making a replica of the T1 in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that. The T1 Trust.
Yep, the engine that looks like a bullet.
Yeah, I saw that video. Man, I can't believe that they're really going to make a replica of the T1.
I mean, this is of course like look in the UK. They actually call like the Unknown Warrior, like the replica of like of the big city engine spaces.
Yeah, yeah, now I get what you're saying right there. I can't wait to see the T1, steamed up and see it running today.
Well, the good thing about the T1 thing is that they've got the boiler thing like really looking good, so we can see how massive it's going to look. But we've still got a long way to go. We've got until the year 2030 until it's sure to be completed. Hopefully, most of us will still be around, in the post-pandemic after that to see it. If any of us can
Oh, of
make it.
course. I mean,
Yeah,
because I mean, next year Scotsman will be 100 years old, and I mean,
Indeed.
and hopefully all the engines that are at the National Railway Museum will finally be released and be able to puff one more time with Scotsman before they go back to the museum.
Well, it would
So
be nice actually. Who will be there to celebrate with Scotsman? Like I said, I am hoping to meet Scotsman next year. Hopefully,
yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go. I have no idea if they are going to hold it in the National Railway Museum in the big hall on the turntable or whatnot, or make it run or whatever they're going to do. We'll see
would
where
you
it
would you
goes.
would you might be able to get some pictures of the Scotsman?
It depends
Oh
if I
yeah.
do. If Scotsman comes home close to where I'm at, because I'm if it comes to the to the Severn Valley Railway, which is only 18 miles from where my hometown of Birmingham is, I could make it there because I've not seen Scotsman since 2017, apparently for a couple of years. Even though because I love the
Awesome.
locomotive, it's part of my family heritage. In any case, it's back to where we are. And Scotsman was in the movie as well for exclusive
Yes.
reasons. Anyways,
Oh
this is
yes.
the
He was there for like 5 seconds before.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. He was later on. You just missed it in the last reviews.
Well,
This
I
is
know.
where Edward's looking around, and we're led to think where is 311. I was trying to do like a season. I was trying to do like a season 5 reference here, like it could be anywhere, and I tried many times to make it as dark as possible, but it wasn't working out. So I kept it as it is, as you see here in the final product. Edward,
Ah,
Edward doesn't know if 311 was going to come up at the front or at the rear, but then she pops up at this point, like deliberately in his direction.
Yes.
hmm.
This was actually not that bad to put together, but at the same time, if I recall, part 8 was not that bad to edit. It was actually quite easy. From what I can recall, it took me only three or 2 days to put together in total.
I think the video is actually pretty good, though. I mean, I did see the video that was made. I enjoyed it.
So you're the legendary phantom that's been spreading terror around our island.
That's correct, old engine. I am the Clinch 311.
As you can tell, that's Mousing Girls. What's her name? He did a hell of a good job.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I know who you mean.
Why are you here? Do you
I
have
mean,
a
I can only
reason?
imagine what she thinks today about the role anyway.
It's really simple. To find those
Is this what you're talking about? Like, what would the American locomotive would be doing on British rails?
and what I once was. You don't know anything of my past. You think you do, but just like the others,
At this point, Edward's kind of trying to keep his cool, but at the same time, doesn't like being talked back.
sorrow for mine
You talked a lot about this scene in my review.
suffered.
I know, but I remember clearly what you thought about this
The
scene.
engines on Sodor had nothing to do with your death. We are not worth taking. And what I can feel from you is that you're lost, deeply lost, and wanting to find peace. That's what you're here for. Really, aren't you?
There is none left in me. I killed many engines and humans in the years, for they had to pay the price, including those from the Captain Southwestern Railroad.
Again, this was one of the best I had to do at this point. Of course, iOS Studios did a hell of a lot good with the flashbacks. Again, I know some of the others tried, but he always knew how to pull it off a lot better.
Yes, I mean,
Well, that's why I had to use most of his shots afterwards, and that's when the deal was done. Like he'll film in the US only, and the others wouldn't. So again, that's why I trusted iOS Studios. And to this day, I still feel like he did a hell of a lot better than I expected he would. You know,
Right.
because that's what I mean. I'm just saying because he was the best I had on my team for filming in terms of for the American scenes and flashbacks of 311.
They mistrusted me, wanted me to cut down and never run again. Don't you even think you know what I went through just because the others told you about me? You don't know the faces of those that trembled in fear when they saw my horrid form. The terrified looks in my friends' eyes who I thought cared about me. Every single soul, both man and engine alike, had to suffer. To pay the price for not being able to trust me or look upon me as a really useful engine that served on the Clinchville and the CSW. My whole life was nothing more but damage and bad luck. You don't even know what it would have been like if you were in the same position as me. To go through all of that and end up being treated like the way I was.
At this point, Ed was just constantly, fighting back emotions at this point. Like he's trying not to get frustrated.
Yeah,
That's the reason why Edward's acting the way he is in this film. Like he literally is holding back how he really feels.
He's not holding back. He's in that scene. He is not holding back any emotion. But when he does rage at the engine, like he's like, sir, you need to listen. Like it, like you must trust that that the Lord will be your savior upon your grace.
Basically, he'd be like how you would be when you finally blew your own stack eventually, Brandon.
Yeah. That's another story.
You know what I mean? If Edward were to finally lose it.
I know.
Madam, you must try and see sense that whatever was done is in the past. You must let go and move on. You're better than this, and you must be strong.
And that's where 311's got a true form. That means you're ready to die.
You think your words can get to me? You can't even see my look of hatred from beyond my red light of rage. Why don't you show me fear like the others do?
Please, madam, there is something left in you that will help you lay to rest.
At that point, 311, Edward's literally glowing through the bloody headlights because in the fanfic, it says, Edward was getting blinded by the red lights and he was finding it hard to see, but as he peered through, he could just make out the facial features of what 311 was,
Well, yes,
barely able to see what others couldn't, because in this form, because in this super form right now, that's basically death on wheels right there for you.
Yeah, because it's so amazing that Edward was able to see through the speech bubbles and was able to see through what the engine was going through.
Not speech bubbles, the red headlamps of rage, Brandon.
Well, they looked. I know they're headlights, but they look like speech bubbles.
In yours, perhaps, maybe. And then 311 finally kind of, I don't know, maybe listened, I don't know.
Your number, it's not the same as mine. I Consider this mercy from the demon. But you do well to brace yourself and pay attention to what you hear, old timer. Next time, you won't.
Old timer?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what was said in the fanfic as well. 311, regardless as an innocent or good demon or whatever, she would have said the exact same thing. And not because Edward's old, it's because Edward's wise and very thoughtful, and she can tell she is. So she's kind of like almost in a kind of throw it back in your face type of thing, saying like, be wary of who you speak to, like, and be more wiser, old timer. That's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Someone else who would be a much better selection to take with me and be a new victim to my curse.
And at the time, we don't even know who 311 was going to go for. That's why no one didn't know.
Hmm.
And after that, Edward's like in the aftermath, was like, damn, it's like I failed, I couldn't get through, but like he's now in the aftermath of coming face to face with it.
Yes. I mean, Edward, even though he's,
Yeah.
that really, that really bad. Like, I just realized this now. Like Edward's drivers and firemen's, like they were like, who are you talking to? They were probably in the yard manager's office, or they were probably on break, or they were probably refueling Edward's tender with coal and water.
We don't
And
know.
they didn't even. And they
Yeah.
probably didn't even see, what the what was going on in front of Edward. But
Well,
but
in
we
the
all
fanfic, I think in the fanfic, Edward's crew, I said Edward's crew had actually weren't there when they happened, so they can only hear what Edward. They can only hear Edward, but they didn't know what 311 was there. So they
Okay.
weren't. So they were off camera, like somewhere else, not realizing where they were, and then they just like pop back up. I was like, "Who are you talking to, Edward?"
But does the fanfic mention about anything about the vicar or the priest? Like, because the priest would have been a huge vital character to like a vital character to end the curse if all else would have failed.
Look, we didn't even put that sort of thing in, Brandon. Jesus.
Do you?
Okay.
I wasn't talking to anyone. I was just.
And yes, this is when again we kind of. I wouldn't say went off track, but this is the bit where I remembered, like, oh, I was like, hang on a minute, Edward and Timothy. I got for a reference. This is when I said I've got for a reference back to the first film because Edward said to Thomas and Percy and Toby that he said he knew a bit more than what we might be thinking of, about Timothy's past, and there was going to be another sequel. I think it was going to be for the fourth or fifth. I don't know where it was, but Edward was going to play a much bigger role as we would progress on with the trilogy.
Mm.
Yeah, so he was going to play a big role in Timothy's quote-unquote redemption to peace afterwards. That was the intent of why this was added in afterwards. But again, it was slightly shoehorned in, and I did remember telling Chuck, iOS Studios, we've got to film this because it's a reference, because a lot of people were asking, what about Edward? He said something like he knew something more than we didn't know of or whatever. And that only came back at the last moment of why we had to continue filming for the rest of this afterwards.
Interesting.
Yes, like I could understand
that's what I recalled. That's how far my memory can go back to.
Yeah, because I will tell you this: when I filmed and produced Sodor, the 3 hour and 17-minute film, like that took 5 months. Like I had a whole year.
5
complete it.
months?
Yeah.
But who?
Yikes.
5 months isn't too bad. That's how
I was given a full year on that project, and I completed it. Actually, it was the final scenes were filmed July 21st, 2021, and then finally I was able to, after a 7-hour export off of Vegas, no joke, and it took like 5 hours to put on the channel. Let's just say that 3 hours and 17 minutes. It was worth it. It was a fan made sequel to Magic Railroad. It was premiered on July 26, 2021, and it turned out very successful in the end. It really
the thing. Well, with the Kurt Roman, it took like over 6 months in total afterwards to put together in terms of the editing, but it took a while. It took another few more prior months to film a lot, but
Oh,
it was smaller and easier. But the editing and rendering and that one was definitely a challenge, but it was nothing compared to this though.
oh yeah. Because I mean,
No shadow,
because
Timothy.
because
I'm Edward.
Because-
Sodor's #2 engine.
Yeah. I bet, again, this was to be building up for something really good. And everybody would have been like, what's the thing with Timothy and Edward? Again, I was trying to do something unique for a build up or whatever it was. I mean, that's gone out the window right now, but still.
Interesting.
well, yeah, because at the end, because I will say with that particular scene, like with the whole thing with Edward and Timothy, like, well, I say to this, the years start coming and they don't start coming, fed to the rules, and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but so much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow. Hey, now you're an all-star. Get your head.
What are you referring to now, Brandon?
Oh shoot! It feels like my phone is dying and overheating. I think I must go now. I need to
Alright,
let my
okay.
phone cool down for a bit.
I'll get the
Alright,
fire extinguisher.
Well, anyways, guys, it was having fun talking with you two. I'll see you guys in the next stream.
Take
All
care,
right.
Ashley.
Bye.
Again,
All
that's
right.
the original version of Shadow Timothy. Again, that's an original for me. And then, the clever transformation happened afterwards. That was technically how I wanted him to look for a long while. But again, you couldn't stay that way for too long, regardless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! Is that you, Timothy?
No shit, Edward. It is me. Sorry, I had to throw that one out there. To expect some fun and, shenanigan when you do that.
Hello, Edward, my old acquaintance. You have changed since we last met many decades ago.
I'm not gonna lie, I really still enjoyed doing the voice dubbing of Timothy in this scene. And the good thing was afterwards, I didn't actually have to do a retake on any line I did in this. It was just in one go.
Indeed.
I don't know you as a friend, but I do know you from your famous story that was untold for years. Something about an engine like you who hated everyone on this island.
Yes, I was the one who hated everything that this railway represented. I hated every human, every man, woman, and child who did fail in seeing what I really was. I hated those who took my pride, and those that I cared and loved so much. I hate everyone. I even hate myself for what I became.
Edward was stunned. Then his memories came back to him.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a reference as well in the book 1949, where I think that was when the year Bill and Ben came into the series, if I'm not mistaken. So there was a bit of a hint reference there.
It was when he was much younger and remembered seeing Timothy's ghost.
As you can see, that's because that was before Edward had his rebuild when he had his older tender. So I'm very convinced that's actually real canon right there.
Who is that? He's painted silver like Timothy, but he's not the same.
I hate you. You, like any urge to fear me, are now trying to discard me.
It was you, wasn't it? You were the tank engine I saw back in 1949, but something's different about you. You've changed. You look different. I told Thomas, Percy, and Toby about my encounter with you 2 years ago, but they were confused and didn't believe in my version of the story. But now I am convinced that there is more to you than what many of us first thought.
Again, that's a reference from the first movie. That's the reason why this bit had to be kind of shoehorned in. So, yeah, that's the main reason why. Brandon, you can mute yourself if you want to, mate. We can bring your own opinions back in if you'd like to. There's nothing stopping you, pal. If everybody else wants to join in, lads, look, here's the link for you guys. Here you go, mate. If you guys want to come in, you're more than welcome to. The link's right here. Okay.
Looks like someone has brought up another untold chapter from my past.
And unfortunately, we wouldn't know what that untold chapter was, sadly, guys. But I wish we could know.
You're right, Edward. There is much more to me than what others thought. There are things about me that you wouldn't be able to understand. About me looking different? Well, let's just say I have my own powers to change my appearance from being like this into my shadow form that others have not been able to notice until now. But yet, they fail to even know it's me. I'm sure for a fact that you didn't even know that it was me back when you saw me in 1949. Our encounter on that night was something we've both almost forgot about. But I now do. I can remember how terrified you were, almost as scared as when Thomas first saw me when we reunited. But he didn't believe there was another engine like him, who was once his forgotten brother, the one who led the way for the E2 class.
Whatever you're up to or trying to come up with, you'll never take him away. Sodor would be nothing without him. Can't you see that?
You don't even know the real truth of why I'm still wanting my brother gone, you old fool! He should be glad that I spared his life when my old home, the Kirk-Roman branch, was being restored. So far, he's not been chosen to run it. But if he does, then he will be dead and long gone for good. But I'll still find another way to get rid of my brother. He's the only living E2. And the rest of his brothers and sisters, including myself, are no longer here among the living. Soon his time will come.
Not as long as we're here. You'll never win this. I saw 311 moments ago, and I tried to get her to find peace and move on. You'll do the same thing. I just know you will, Timothy. There is some good left in you. I know it, Thomas knows it, but most of all, you know it.
And at that point, Edward got through to Timothy, hence the reason why he ended up changing his face. Now originally there was going to be a part where, Timothy would have was looking for 311, and then all of a sudden, kapow, there they were. Hey Wesley, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So, got to the part where Timothy and Edward meet up.
Yeah, for the first time since 1949. Not to mention, you just missed 311's encounter with Edward.
Yeah, I remember that in the movie.
Oh, it's Brandon Lalthy. Brandon. I'm not sure if that's Brandon or not. I'm not too sure. In any cases, though, like I said, it was really, really cool. Again, the whole thing is again, Timothy again made an appearance because he was actually he did leave his hiding space, and then he ended up, crossing paths with Edward because he was kind of looking for 311 in a way, and then he just missed him. And instead, he encounters Edward. It's like, oh, I haven't seen him in a long while, and then.
Who are you?
Yeah, I know. Even a demonic shadow ghost ends up forgetting his memories a little bit. But anyway,
that I really like that part.
Again, this was to be a build-up. Again, just to let you know, Edward was going to play a bigger role as the saga progressed. This was a hint of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom. Yes, Cresswell. He's still around. It's just that not anymore, as we see now.
Yeah.
Thomas Stuckey, YouTube user, just chill, pal. Just enjoy watching this review if you need to. But anyway, At this point, Edward actually got through to Timothy. He's one of the few who did, and then
Yep, like Thomas did.
Thomas managed to do so by shouting and telling him. Eventually, by really getting into his head, and now
Yeah.
Edward's kind of done the same. But the thing is, again, it's had an effect on his double personality wise, and here he is. But he's still doing what he said he would. He can't do it now, but what he would have done. He's so conflicted. He wants to just have his peace, but he wants his bro to be with him.
Yeah.
Regardless, like I said, he's a tragic lost dead character who is just hell bent.
Yeah.
At the time, he's just on the wrong side of the afterlife.
Yeah. Poor Timothy.
And again, I'm not going to lie, I did my lines in this bit in one go, and eventually when I did the Innocent Timothy, yeah, again, I'm being realistic with what comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm showing real emotion.
But there is none left in me.
Again, I did a little
There's
Darth
no
Vader.
peace.
I did kind of go a little Darth Vader-ish at this point with here, where he's like, when Vader says to Luke, "It's too late for me, son. There's no good left," or whatever, if there was.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of going Star Warsy like at this point.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know why. I just kind of felt like I was. That was the only way I was. That was my only. To this day, that's the only reasoning of why he keeps, shifting his persona, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, freedom to help me move on, Edward. The only way I can is if I take my little brother with
Now
me.
the reason why Edward's being that way is because he's never seen that side of him.
Stop me doing
Yeah.
it. It has to be done. I'm sorry. I can only plead forgiveness when it happens. If not, then I'll have no choice but to take those he cares and loves so much to make him surrender to me. Until then, goodbye, old acquaintance.
That means he's going to take Edward, Henry, everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do. But Edward's
Yeah.
convinced he can get to him.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we would never know that, unfortunately, due to the projects that would have come after this would not come to fruition. So we're only left to speculate.
Yeah.
There must be a way. There must be a way for him to let go of his past and move on.
Yep, I agree with Edward.
But we would never know.
Yeah.
Only Edward might give us the answer.
Yeah.
Again,
And next up, part 9.
Part
Thomas's Nightmare.
Yeah, basically this was the build-up that everybody kind of was expecting, but they didn't know exactly when it was going to happen. That's the only thing I will say.
Yeah.
Except what you saw in the trailer was 10 times more scarier.
Yeah, because, you didn't know what was actually happening.
Yeah, I was kind of pulling off a Freddy Krueger reference in this next part.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Thomas and Rosie had been working hard all day at the quarry with Mavis.
To be quite honest, this was one of the easier parts of the project when we got back on track again.
Yeah.
Part 9 was done without a hitch. Like, all the filming and everything was there, and I did it within a matter of 6 days.
Awesome.
It was like 2 days of filming, and the rest of it followed afterwards with the editing and sound effecting and whatnot.
Yeah.
And don't worry, that's not Mr. Star, even though...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
People keep joking about that now, but again, it was... we were using what we had at the time before... At the time, it was getting popular at this point.
Deliver a train of stones. Thomas and Rosie had to stay on guard to look after the area until Mavis returned the next day. As the train departed, the 2 tank engines dozed in the shed as fog was slowly starting to rise.
In the fanfic version, it's a bit more airier than this.
Rosie was already in a deep sleep, while Thomas was still dozing. Then he heard the faint sound of an unfamiliar whistle.
Who was that? that can't be Timothy, right?
Well, you just never know. It could have been, but
Yeah.
because it's so thick, Thomas doesn't know who it is. It was
Yeah.
basically, it was basically a hint. It was
Or
basically,
another movie.
yeah, it was basically leading to Ghost Train 3, The Weeping Engine. Spoiler alert, that was actually Penny, Timothy's quote unquote long lost lover looking for him.
Oh.
And the whistle, too. Again, that was a little hint.
Oh.
Why do you think Thomas says the words, that almost look like Percy? A little hint
Yeah.
of, so Thomas isn't the only one who had a sibling who was dead. Even Percy was
So
eventually.
Percy has a sibling too.
Yeah, but her fate was worse than what happened to Timothy. But again,
Oh.
fortunately, this is only speculating at this time, okay?
Yeah.
But this was a hint of what was to come, the building up for the next
Yeah.
story. You know,
Yeah, there were several hints.
in my early original of this adaptation, it was actually Timothy coming past in the original old early writing, which I had lost. But Thomas was unaware. But so he changed it to something else, and then he says like Percy or something. That's so. Again, this whole thing was really, really fun. I will admit. Again, the editing took a long while, but again, this was one of the best I did. I was kind of really pushing my dark thoughts into this one, especially when it came to like first time. It was actually the first time I ever actually did a dream sequence in a movie like this. So again, this was very fresh and new to me.
Yeah.
That almost looked like Percy. He must have come to do so late when it should do.
Again, we don't even know how long Tom's been asleep for, but that's when it all starts to happening. A lot of people would think this is really happening.
Yeah, I think that was the intent to make it make us think it was actually happening.
Yeah, this is where people think, oh, what's going on here? Like, this wasn't even part of, like in the fanfic. It's very different compared to what we're seeing here.
Where am I? This isn't the way to get back home.
Originally, though, I will have to admit, if I really wanted to kill off Thomas, this is kind of like how it would have gone.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to do that. I mean, I was worried if I did that, I was concerned the fandom was going to be like, oh, outrage.
Yeah. So where is Thomas in this? Where is he?
He's on the spooky route.
Oh.
That's the name of the route I was using.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he's basically on an unknown part on Sodor, or where the heck it would be. But like I said, this is like in a nightmare style, so he doesn't know where the heck he's going. Again, you can hear the echoes I've put for the effects and for the voicing. So that's the hint that he's actually dreaming and it's not real.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa.
In the fanfic version, this dream is a lot more darker than you would expect it in this film version.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
The music. I love it.
I know. Spy did my ears in a lot. But it worked. It was just what I needed. To make it like an eerie dream sequence.
Yeah. And there's the whistle.
I'm lost. Wait.
What people didn't realize that this was a prelude to what would have happened to Thomas if he had met 311. But again, his mind's all clouded with all the other bits and bobs that he's had. So
Pretty much.
yeah, he's past traumatization with Timothy, and now the thought of this, it's just really interfered in his dream sleep.
Yeah.
Originally, I was going to use the Demon 311, but I felt like I need to use the other side of her instead. Like
The normal one first.
Yeah, so let's see what the innocent side of her would have been like.
Yeah.
Now we got a little Freddy Krueger in how I changed the coloring.
Yeah.
it can't be.
I see that you don't know or care about me or my death.
That's not true, 311. We do care.
It's a past then. Now that I have you, I will not let you escape. Even if you are an innocent tech engine, I will finish.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
Complete my curse.
This is technically what her demon side would have been like, but at this point, even though her innocent form was still full of it, but again, just keep in mind this is Thomas having his dream, having a bad nightmarish, and we don't know how it would have acted in reality when he did finally come across her.
Yeah.
Again, the music here was just brilliant. I used why I turned into red.
Oh, spooky red.
Yeah, blood red there.
Yep.
Yeah, using blood red and then it changes. Again,
Yeah.
this is like Freddy Krueger related.
Mm-hmm. Blue.
Gone lightish blue now. Again, Thomas is just
Yeah.
like trying to get the heck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally I was going to save this for a creepypasta story, like the death of Thomas at the hands of Timothy and 311, but I was getting too ahead of myself.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be brilliant. I was a bit concerned about how the audience would take this,
Yeah.
but this was really supposed to be one of the darkest moments of the entire film.
Yeah.
You could say it was kind of Shed 17 related almost.
Yeah. He's coming.
Toby, is that you?
Nope, Thomas. It is not.
Sorry, brother, it's me.
Timothy?
Yeah.
Shadow form.
No matter how many times I hear myself laughing, it's just really cool. I don't know how I managed to sound so dark at that point. It's that bloody microphone I was using. Yeah, I know. At one point, I'm not going to lie, it's a good job I cut that bit off when I was recording because, true fact here, as soon as I finished laughing, I actually passed gas and shot myself at that point. No, when I was recording, I was like, and then I was like, holy shit, I think I've laughed too hard. Oh, joke, that did happen while I was recording my lines at that point.
Wow.
Hey, Fred, yeah, some funny stuff happening back there. And of course, the streamers popped back up that quickly since she popped in with me.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, it's just really, really good. I will admit this was one of the best I did, but how this was going to play out was beyond my own mind. But the final result, I was glad it came as it did. I mean, in the trailer, we got a little tease of this, but it would have been a lot more. But that was.
But you didn't really know what was actually going to happen.
No, when Thomas was like, "Let me go, yeah, don't kill me." It basically what we didn't know it was going to be a dream sequence because we wanted that to be an actual scene, like two ghosts were going to actually kill off our famous number one. But then I changed the idea of like, hang on, we're teasing the audience here. Are they really going to work together? I was like, the only way I'm going to do this is if I do it in a dream sequence, and and it worked out pretty well.
What is this place? Tell me.
Have no fear, little brother.
Have no fear.
I'm here now. Here to comfort you.
Sure you are, Timothy.
Well, basically, how about this instead? It'll be like a funny rhyme. Have no fear, little brother. There's nothing to fear. Don't even bother shedding a tear. So come and join me and have a beer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Expect some pro shenanigans there, mate.
Yeah.
Friends were lost too, and they sadly ended up dying despite I.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Percy and Toby dismantled because in the fanfic they're absolutely scarred and battered.
Wow.
And the faces wouldn't be seen either. So
clearly.
In the fanfic, it's a bit more gory than what we see here.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No. Percy, Toby.
Thomas. And so will you.
What do you mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, ask your dead brother what he means.
Yeah. Look over there, little brother, and see your future.
That's me.
Yep, Shed 17 reference, bro. Except it's even better. Yeah, a
Yeah.
dead Thomas in his nightmare. What would have happened if he had him?
Yeah.
Oh God! No! It can't be. No! Oh God! That's that.
Indeed it is, Thomas.
I'm not gonna lie, I really laughed my head off when I put this together, and I immersed
Yeah.
my good voice in bad. I was like, holy shit, I really am getting into it. I was like, you could say I peaked in my darkest ways ever. And when I said
Yeah.
these lines, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so into it, my eyes rolled into the back of my head. I was so into it. It was as if I had been. I'm not lying. It was like I was possessed.
Wow. Maybe
And so are you.
And eliminate you. But
Can't do it.
do it alone.
That's why it's all red. It's to resemble like he's bleeding
Yeah.
blood out, and then holy shit, here comes 311, and we get a Batman and Robin reference. Yes, I
Yeah.
had to because it was just for the sake of it.
Yeah. Thomas's driver must be crapping his pants.
No, listen, his driver and crew are not supposed to be there originally.
Yeah, I know. It was just a joke.
Yeah, but if that were happening, they would have been dead instantly. Like, oh shit, we're gone.
Yeah. Bad luck, I'm afraid. Time to die, little tank engine.
Yes.
Yeah,
Time
I
to
can only,
finally
yeah,
rest in
I can,
peace.
I can only imagine at this point what the fans would be thinking at this point. It's like, oh shit, 311 and Timothy, they're here together. Now what are they going to do? This was the only time we'd ever see these two together, and that was the best thing I could do. I wasn't going to,
Yeah.
like, if I continued with the original version, like within my version, it'd still be quite pretty much the same, but there would have been somewhat of a ghostly, demonic alliance between the two. That was
Yeah.
what was going to happen. But still, looking back now, I don't know how I would have gone about it. That's
Yeah.
all I can say. Jim, please. Yeah,
Little brother.
I kind of went a little Undertaker there. Time to
Yeah.
rest in peace. And then I went to K mode to like burn in hell. And
Yeah.
one of my guys,
Or should I say, burn in hell.
yeah, let's just say in a way, one of my guys did a review on it, and he was like, "Ah," like he's like scared. If you see that review he did, his reaction was quite
Legitimately
hilarious.
scared.
Yeah, Lego Maker 8-something-1, I think it was. I'll show you it after at some point after this is done with. I'll show you after this. All right?
Oh, okay.
It's quite funny actually. Though, like,
Yeah.
should I say?
Burn in hell.
That last bit where I said the words "burn" and then he's just like, "Duh." It's just so I don't know why, but it's so fun. No, it's how I said the words.
God, that face.
Yeah, it was like how I said the words "burn." It was like, holy shit. Yeah, burn hell, motherfucker.
Please, no.
Please don't.
Yeah, Shed 17 reference there. When
Yep.
you finally woke up, like, no,
Yeah.
holy shit. Damn, son. Yes, damn indeed. Yes, Tommy Trains.
Damn, son, where'd you
indeed.
find this?
Okay. Hey, Tommy Trains. Good job I had you in just before the failed jump scare.
Yeah, I just woke up.
Thomas, the
Yeah.
spooky YouTuber engine, really needs to chill out.
He's attention seeker.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Thomas fan, but like, James Sayers back in here too.
Basically, I just came back because I was bored and I heard the SR Moncel whistle.
Yeah. Sorry, Thomas Train for I don't want to, out of this, but please, dude, I'm gonna have to cut you out. I'm very sorry, mate. Sorry. Right, Lottery, you're done. I'm very sorry, but you're gone.
Ooh, burn.
Why did you have?
Oh boy!
Why do you have to do
You
that?
did this to yourself?
Because, you know, in the private chat, he was being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
He did
Miller.
this to
Thomas
himself,
was
though.
actually having nightmares.
What
Yes.
was he? What did he do?
He's
If you
been
hadn't seen the private
demanding
chat,
that
he
he
was-
wanted to be on his stream.
He was asking and being demanding, and Fred, Fred was really doing a good job in defending. Like I said, I
Yeah.
will not tolerate people who will demand it, because I'm not that type of a person who put in. I'm the one who calls the shots and I'll add who I want to if I feel like it. Okay?
Yeah.
He actually
Respect-
stated, "Hey, you think I was Thomas is spooky? No, I'm not. I'm James is spooky."
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Good job on your Fred. Yeah. Good job, Fred.
Again, Fred, don't worry. The lines will be coming at some point. Once we're done with this afterwards, I might try and see if we can get somebody. Something I've just realised. I might have to give you the lines to Medwood again or something like that. There's another project we're both working on with. We'll have to pick up the pace a little bit, because I know there are some fans who are expecting my shorts again. Anyways, back to where. Oh, yeah, I know, creepy boy. Don't worry, mate. Don't freak out, pal. It's fine. Thomas didn't die. He's alive.
Yeah.
Thomas, what's the matter?
I just had a nightmare. My God.
Wait, who voiced Rosie?
That was Liz. Liz.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
Liz-
she gave her the correct accent.
Well, she's an American, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
that is
just-
true.
Just like Rosie.
She's
I mean, of course,
supposed to be,
Rosie
yeah.
is based on the U.S. tank engine.
So
basically,
she was.
everybody else.
Pretty much where the real E2s were working around the time.
So
Yeah,
her
especially
basis,
with the
her-
with Salty's class as well.
her basis was built in the States.
Yes, Rosie.
Hmm.
Why? Why did I dream of something like that? Something that horrible and disturbing.
Calm down.
Again, Thomas has had such a bad ordeal, and now he just now he knows what would happen if he did see 311. But
I
thankfully,
won't let Timothy get the better of me.
again, it's just so funny. Like at first he's like scared to death about him, and then he just somehow, I don't know why, but out of nowhere, just give him this pluck up courage, like he's really not gonna be defeated. It's almost like I'm trying to make him like this super badass, brave little tank engine, but he's always scared to death whenever he's encountering them.
Yeah.
Even in his old age, he still acts like he's a scaredy engine on wheels at times, unless he can find it
Yeah.
within him to stand up.
I just can't.
I like how Rosie was like being like a sister to Thomas. I really
Well,
like
again, Rosie had a small role in this after what happened in the last film again.
Yeah.
But don't worry, there's nothing between the two anyway.
I know.
I like that episode from like season 22 or 23, which was Rosie's Red.
Cringe as hell.
Yeah.
Oh
It was,
my god, what the fuck, Mattel?
I thought it was hilarious, to be quite honest. I was like, nice to see Rosie in a new livery and whatnot. But I always suspected there was something between the two. It doesn't really look. I don't really care too much about the whole Thomas shipping thing. Anybody can have our favorite little engine in a romance with any female engine who they plead.
Yeah.
That's just up to us. Nothing more.
Okay.
It's just like you see. It's just like what we see in the anime. You could have like a ton of them.
Mhm.
It's like they all have the same goal, the same love interest, but with different agendas to it. It doesn't matter. That's how I would like to look at it.
Tell. But I know he's still here on this railway. But it's almost been a year since I last saw him.
Yeah, in the timeline, it's been like nearly a full 12 months since he last saw him.
Yeah.
And he hasn't encountered Timothy at all at this point.
But now I've got other things to worry about, such as the ghost of 311, who has been reported being seen lately. And if I did get an encounter with her, then I'm a dead angel.
Basically, Thomas was referring to himself like, I'm a dead man if I encounter 311.
Yeah. It's like he's like
So he's basically,
if I see her, I'm dead.
yeah, I'm a dead engine. Basically, he's like, I know he's trying his best to protect everything from Timothy, but with 311, it's like, can't prepare for it. If you see it, you're dead, for instance.
Yeah.
So he is basically concerned that he is going to die, almost.
Yeah.
That dream sequence kind of reminds me of like the Freddy versus Jason, where Freddy was fighting Jason in some sort of factory in a dream
Yeah.
sequence.
That is true, yeah. Look, Matt Thomas, dude, I don't know what your problem is, mate, but what is your problem?
Yeah.
I
Like,
mean,
dude.
his
Like,
name
dude,
is
leave
Matt
the guy
Thomas, like he's
alone.
furious.
I don't know if it's the same user or not, but this is something I don't like. Like,
I don't either.
I don't even know who this dude is, but guys,
I
this
mean,
is the
kids
reason.
always wanted attention.
Who knows? It could be somebody else.
Could be. But we don't know.
Now, dude, look, if you want me to be apologizing towards you, mate, honestly, being angry in that way isn't going to get anywhere. Dude, just chill out.
Just don't
Yeah.
be like Walker.
If you want to enjoy the stream, then go ahead and just enjoy this, all right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for you to get all
That's
puffed
the
up in the
mature
smoke.
thing to do.
I just love having chat with other Thomas fans.
Again, guys, I'd like to continue, but with this whole thing, I'm not going to have that.
And I know where the Clinchfield 311's whistle came from.
Oh?
Where? Where?
At the Georgetown Loop Railroad number 111.
Oh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
It was the regular whistle.
Cool.
Well, you know.
Now I'm wondering where Timothy's whistle came from.
I actually found this in my bathroom.
I get it. There was a picture of the Tweetsy Railroad number 90, and I guess that's where his whistle came from.
Look. Oh, nice.
Oh.
I just found it in my bathroom.
It should be an old American ghost engine.
It is an American.
It's finished like a aftershaver like that.
Look, Matt,
that one should
guys,
sound like an...
Look, Matt Thomas, I don't know what your problem is with me. I've done nothing wrong with you.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
You just wanted to be a part of the stream, but you demanded, okay?
Tommy Trains, if that were Thomas' character, it should be an old timer and have a southern accent.
Be true, yeah.
I don't know.
Look,
I mean,
dude,
it doesn't roll. It's pretty much like a statue.
Dude,
and it's
I
made
don't
of
know what your
glass,
problem
and the
is. I
front of
still
the
don't
smoke
trust
box
the
is
idea that... Look, dude, I don't understand why you're doing this, man, honestly. Even if I do say sorry to you, I don't think you're going to take it seriously. Honestly, God, man. You gotta understand, I'm running the stream here. I'm the one who calls the shots. So respect that, man.
Yes.
Fact is, I had to block you because you were being a bit, you know, too demandative, and you were being very, very rude.
Yeah,
there's some
Matt
sort of
Thomas
person
I hear is
on this
being like
fandom.
George the Steamroller.
Even if I do say sorry, you won't go back on your word. So I don't know what's gonna go on. All right, so I don't know. I have no idea if I should or not. But at the same time, look, I have no idea. I don't even know who you are, pal. So
yeah,
I have no idea what this dude's problem
What was
is.
that?
yeah.
Yes, Creepy Boy 90. I did say that. Look, he is saying that or whatever, but the fact is, I don't know if he'll go back on his word if I do say sorry to him or not. But the fact is, you know, look, you don't even know where I am or whatever the case may be, so there's no point in threatening me or, you know, whatever, unless you're trying to intimidate a grown young man here. So think better, mate.
Yeah.
Threatening's not going to be tolerated. Okay, so let's just continue on. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if you're seeing this, but this is like, you know, one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to be doing streams because of, you know, BS like that.
Yeah.
Hence why
But
I argued about the fact why the fandom is collapsing, because we have users like that who don't respect anyone in the fandom. They just want to be there just to cause issues or just make people's lives hell or whatever the case may be.
I was really hoping things could get back to normal.
Where we are, we're almost there, Tommy Tries. It's just there are some who just do it because they think it's okay, but it isn't.
Yep.
The next morning it was cool and slightly damp, but the railway was working fine as normal. But today there were fewer passengers.
And there's the engines who currently work on the Kirk Roman branch line.
Yep. Iris and Lily.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought Lily was going to work on the Farker branch.
No, that was on Wild Northwesters cannon, and the engine
Yeah.
that's off cam. There was an engine that was off camera. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, we were trying to do like a season 1 reference there or something like that, or
The
season
Markland
2.
Is it
engine.
Marklin?
It no, yeah, it
If the
wasn't
Markland,
Markland.
if the Markland engine were a Thomas character, what would his name be?
That's his name.
Passenger trains
Probably
Probably
Heinz.
Mark.
Service was on a steady rise.
Markiplier.
I think so.
I guess he should be called Heinz.
Oh Jesus!
How you doing, Smirks?
He's
Who?
like, don't they? Any case is Thomas was put a shot again, but at the same time, Percy was supposed to be in that shot, but again,
Someone hates himself.
Poor Percy.
no. But at the same time, I didn't know I can't remember what happened back then, but it was the best thing we were using. At the same time, we hadn't seen one of those branch in a long while. I don't know who it was supposed to have. It was just thrown in there at that point.
Also having temporary struggles with the income of deliveries from the mainland, as well as other parts of the globe. Thankfully, the main heavy duties were handled by David, Jason, and Luke, which saved.
As you can see, Luke's doing well with the freight stuff, and Jason's doing very well with the delivery because, again, it's part of his specification. He can handle freight with no problem, despite being a triplex.
Your OC's name is Jason and my OC's name is Jason.
Again, this is something that the Americans are very useful. So the freight stuff and all the heavier things, it's absolutely like nothing. This is what they're doing, so it's making it easy for the other engines to do the difficult tasks.
Yeah.
By mid-afternoon, weather reports came in about heavy thunderstorms.
They'd be like, yeah.
After helping out with Lily and Iris on the Kirk Ronan branch, Thomas was ordered to deliver some new rails over on Edwards' branch line, where parts of the line were undergoing some examinations and routine maintenance. He was later assigned to work in the China clay pits with Bill and Ben, much to his dismay, for he knew the troubles he had with the twins in the past.
As we all know in the books and TV series.
Yeah.
On the island, dark clouds started to move in overhead. Due to the recent events of rain, the railway had taken the risk of flooding that threatened to wash the rails away. Even the drain near the China clay pits was in danger of bursting its banks. Then as early evening came, a night shower poured down. The storm had arrived much earlier than expected.
Again, I was giving the China clay pits, some screen time as well as Bill and Ben, because I hadn't seen them lately. So it was time they needed to get some,
Yeah.
And again, Tank Engine 97 did a hell of a good job in voicing these two. Again, they were some.
I agree.
Again, when I asked him in the casting, when he did Oliver and Bill and Ben, he told me that they were his other top favorite characters he liked. So again, it made perfect sense for him to do the voice dubbing for these lads.
Yeah.
Unless you gave him his wish.
Well, no, it's not his wish. It's basically what Tank Engine likes. I didn't even realize it at the time. So I was like, oh, I guess that was a lucky guess. So again, it was to give him some more screen time and recognizing, and he really liked it. Like he told me one time he really enjoyed doing Bill and Ben as well as doing Oliver. Besides doing Thomas, it was a fresh thing for him. Like he loved it. Again, I couldn't find anybody else to do Oliver or Bill and Ben because at the time I didn't have anybody I knew who could do those guys. So Tank Engine 97 was one of the last guys I turned to, and it worked. And like I said, when he came back to me, he said, he thanked me for it because he really loved it.
Yeah.
Are you still in contact with him?
Yeah, me and Tank Engine 97 we don't talk very often, but I do check up on him every now and then if he needs to. But again, he still gets comments like he's really good as Thomas, and some people recognize him because of what he did in my projects. Again, that's the reason why he's been so well known.
Yeah.
Robert Johnson, I know who he's referring to.
Yep.
Reese, aka Bosher Studios. That's who he's referring to. God damn it.
Still
Oh,
to this
no.
day.
I don't know if that is him or not, or if it's somebody else. I have no idea. But the guy who was saying that he hates himself, that reminds me of maybe of certain guys who I will not talk about, okay? But at the same time, it's making me feel uneasy now.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Sir Thomas, you're right? Wait, you're telling me you are Bosher? Or are you...
No, I think he's referring to your previous talks like that.
And RJ Rory no to UN. Oh.
Yeah. Whoever asks who Bosher is, you don't really want to know.
Yeah, he was somebody that I used to be with. Like I said before, it's just that since he came back, let's just say it's been a bit uneasy for a lot of us. Even though he has been forgiven, I still have serious doubts that he, well, tell him out of time before he ends up going back on his own word. So that's why I'm keeping my distance between them.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, if you're who I think you are, mate, there's no point in trying to stir it with me. If you are who I think you are, pal, don't. Like
Please, I'm already getting tired of this drama.
It's not drama. I'm just being, I'm just saying, there's no point in trying to, do whatever you're going to do to me or whatever. There's no point. I'm not worthy of your time, pal.
Mhm.
It's best if you just go. If you don't want to be here now, if you just go, just leave,
Yeah.
Even if I did say if I was sorry towards you, you wouldn't, take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like Twitter.
That's the worst place for the Thomas community I've ever laid up in. Jesus Christ.
Twitter sucks.
It doesn't. It does in some ways, and it doesn't. Not completely. It does have its faults, but it does have its strengths as well. That's one thing. It's just the way that lately it's become one of those places where it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably that's one of the worst places on social media ever, and I wish that a lot of things hadn't been associated with it. If like it was back in the 90s and the 2000s, things were kind of all right, and you wouldn't have to be extra nosy like it is today. Like people just cannot have any peace or just be anywhere else.
Yeah.
There's always shenanigans here and there and whatnot, and it's become a place where, as I like to say, the anti-evil bully boy people, regardless of how old they are, go in to shield themselves and try and be all tough blokes and just do serious damage and can be bad. Believe me, I know what it's like.
Yeah.
Driver says this will become one of the most heaviest showers he's ever seen in his life. Don't remind me. It brings back the time when I was stuck in the drain in 1988.
Yeah, again, Bill and Ben are making a reference to, Down the Drain in that book that was written back in when Christopher Aldrich
Thomas and
wrote
the
it.
Twins.
Yeah, that's the reference. That is the reference to the book and when it came out in the year 1988. That was the time. Again, this was what I believed at the time was the timeline of when the book came out. So at least some say it was in 1989 or was it in 87? But when I looked back on it and checked and did my resources on it, it was actually released in 1988. So the stories that happened in that time frame were in that year. At least that's what I like to believe in the Railway series.
Yeah.
Let's just hope something like that never happens again. That was 29 years ago. But as they say, history can repeat itself. And even if we can make an attempt to cross it when flooded, one of us will get stranded or even washed off of the tracks.
Like what?
It had been raining heavily for hours. The rain had flooded the drains so much that the twins were unable to deliver the china clay to Brendam Ducks, as the water from the drain would wash out their fireboxes. So Thomas was called to deliver it himself. He reached the hollow land, slowing right down as he slithered through the cold water.
Ooh.
Now I know how this is.
And Thomas is remembering when Percy got stuck in the water that one time. So he's saying,
Yeah.
Now he knows how his good green friend felt. Again, I'm throwing some references there.
Yeah.
Hi there, Thomas. Fancy seeing you here. Where's Edward? He's working on the main line at the moment, covering for James's trains. So, I'm here to cover his. I just heard the water at the drain won't rise any higher. Don't worry about it. When it gets too high for either me or Bill to travel through, that's normally as high as it gets. You should be fine and able to manage.
Thomas smiled. Although the twins did like to play tricks, they knew when to use common sense, so he knew he could trust them.
Yeah, it's not like it was back then when he was like being teased by them. So again, they've aged a bit better.
Yeah.
Again, I was throwing a lot of references from the Railway series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will admit there was a lot. I had a lot of fun putting this bit together.
You know, I actually heard that music in NWR number 1. Where
That's
did that
right.
music even came from? I just love it. Damn.
Everybody uses this music as well.
It was SA music.
Yep. and
Sergeant
there's-
Afro?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And there's the season 2 shot. Again, this was really cleverly done. All this
Yeah.
this was all done in one shot. We didn't do a retake whatsoever. It was just perfect.
Mm.
It was just around at this point in Newton Part 10 I actually started using some of the newer sound effects that had been released, which were from the Tom's community as well.
Yeah.
That's when Tom's realized, oh, he couldn't go any further, or did it?
Yeah.
The Edward's Danger theme.
Yep.
What was happening?
Hello!
And Thomas got flooded.
Yeah. Oof.
Should
He
there be a
wasn't-
scene
just
where
like
both
Will
Thomas
and
and should it be Thomas and Percy both using Edward's season 2 theme?
Yeah, basically, ironically enough, Thomas was stuck in the exact same spot where Bill had his incident. A bad case of irony. Yeah, except it's now happened to Thomas.
Well, history did repeat itself.
Sort of, but the thing is, Thomas's fire did not get extinguished. But he's not going. If he'd gone any further, he probably would have done.
Yeah.
Again, that was something I just felt like, okay, it's happened to Ben, and now it's happened to Thomas. Technically, except he hasn't lost his fire yet, but he's not going anywhere. There's no point in
Of
going
course,
backwards
because the E2s are huge.
Yeah, and he can't go backwards either, even if he attempted to now, because his wheels are underwater now, so he can't go anywhere.
And his firebox went out.
Well, not completely. It's still there.
Well, that's done it.
His firebox was on fire.
Don't even remind me.
I apologize.
That was one of the cringiest things I've ever heard.
A firebox has to be on fire.
And if that's the case,
Yeah.
it's hardly Ben's fault.
How are we going to get him out of the drain? If he's stranded in it, we'll have no chance. The same way Thomas rescued you from it, with a cable.
And yes, you couldn't have, a classic thing with Bill and Ben without their infamous theme anyway. As you can see, I'm using the splash effects is when their wheels are splashing in the water. That's another thing you can hear.
Yeah, every time the side rods go through the water.
I thought this was really clever. I really liked how this turned out. In the editing, it was brilliant.
Now his wheels is underwater.
Yeah.
And the twins, they can carry on.
Yeah, I like that. I love that. I like that song.
Every cloud has a silver lightning.
Yeah.
Lightning.
Sorry, I mean lighting. Sorry. Slip of
Lightning.
the tongue there, mate. Jesus.
I left the
Um,
link for my Timothy video that I just made.
oh, all right, then I'll check that out later on.
Okay.
Okay, dude. Talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I've been noticing that.
All right, I didn't notice this, so okay, the
Well, I
chat's
did. I
definitely.
pretty much did.
Well, at least someone's keeping a sharp eye on this. Thanks, Nari. Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see,
Can you just, ban Sad Thomas?
I'm not too sure
That
if I
does
think
have.
it's who I think it is. I'm just saying, so I'm unsure about that. Again, look, I don't know who Isabella is. Is that the coach, Isabella from the Great Western, or is he referring to somebody else?
Probably
I
somebody else.
Oh, it is Isabella Cow. I thought he was referring to Isabel, the one of the coaches on Duck's branch line.
mm,
Jesus. Okay, if he's throwing a reference to who I think it is, who is that? Okay, now he's changed it again. What the heck? Okay, guys, in the chat, I know you guys are clashing each other, but that's not the right way to do it. It's unprofessional.
very
This
unprofessional.
is pretty much cyberbullying.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's disgraceful.
Isabel Kel, I'll put you in a second. Hold on, lads. Guy, can you just guys hold on for a second while I just get there for a
Despicable.
second? Just to around again. I didn't mean to say the word I was saying like Eric has a silver lightning. I should have said lighting, but then again,
Lightning.
yeah, I know. I was thinking, what the heck is a silver lightning? And I'm thinking, okay, it's still based.
Despicable.
But I like the fact that I do still like the fact that that song is basically Bill and Ben's theme in full, except it's just
Yeah.
it's related to when it's raining and you have like the rain clouds coming. And I was thinking, huh, so that's what Bill and Ben's theme's called.
Yeah.
They haven't had this.
I like the songs that have
I'll be
a
right back.
message.
I do personally like Every Cloud Has a Silver Lining. It is one of my favorites. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
But the
it's one of my
Headmaster Hastings version.
Oh my god, his cover! What can I tell you? I absolutely love his version. I mean, to be quite honest, he's actually the best version right now in the modern community of Thomas, who can make our childhood songs sound awesome now that we're older. And I do
Yeah.
believe that personally, to me, in my opinion, he is the mature adult version of the Thomas fandom who can write music for all
Mhm.
ages. And I believe he can do it, and I feel like he would bring, he's got that nostalgia, he's got that nostalgia of it slash modern feel of how music was. Like he can capture it. Like what we grew up to can be really even awesome in today's time. Again, like I say this a lot. Music can do wonders, regardless of what it is. It's a part of who we can describe ourselves as humans as well, and how we feel, and how we look at life.
Yeah.
When I said despicable, I in either disagreeable or deplorable.
Oh god.
Detestable.
Indiscourageable.
Disrespectful.
Indeed. Look, Seth Thomas, you can apologize, mate. The fact
Sorry,
of the
I'm
matter
back.
is, whoever the hell's did don't start off that, mate, because I know for a fact you really stirred up a bit, and you did, you kind of bully boyed Isabel K. But at the same time, man, this chat thing was just, wrong. Like, that's the reason why I was finding, anyway, can you, Wesley, Tommy 20 years, can you just keep on talking for a bit while I just hang off for a few minutes?
Of course.
Let's just take a quick break.
Oh, alright. I mean, since one of us really want to see Timothy, I actually did make a Timothy video in the private chat.
Cool. I'm actually going to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Timothy, the alternate story. 1915. Oh! Okay, that custom Trackmaster Timothy looked super cool.
Yeah, I just made it like years ago.
Mm-hmm. I remember that I made one.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, Tommy Trains, you put a lot of you put a lot of work into this. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Except for
lads,
the
I'm
fight.
back. Okay. I heard that. I heard like someone's guard whistling.
And I was like, oh, and there was like, oh, I freaking love the synthesizer.
Yep, sympathizer. Oh god, not the sympathizer. Oh man.
Yeah, I think the synth that was used for Thomas was called the Jupiter 6 or
Yeah,
8.
Jupiter 6.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, the Jupiter 6. That's right.
Yeah.
I thought it was. No wonder no wonder that was a kind of strange case of deja vu. Okay, Isabel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in if you want to. Like I said, but I am unsure if you want to join in or not or whatever. But again, it does seem like you seem to be a bit offended after what went down in the chat. Okay. Fred, if you want to join in, you can. But we're all right. I'll put you guys in if you'd like to.
So are we continuing, or we're just putting a hold?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about putting Fred and Isabel K in just in case, out of curiosity. Seems right near it seems like rather new guy 2 apparently does seem a bit seems like he or she is upset or whatever, and Gamer Dan 63 definitely was caught off guard. He's a bit this is the reason what loses the momentum and why I feel a bit depressed now about this, because oof, I'm a little unsure. Okay. Dude, well, I don't know what is with you said, Thomas. You're asking for stop being like Thomas or whatever the case may be. Enough. Dude,
Yeah.
if you think you are, just cut it out.
He's pretty much living in his fantasy.
Yeah, that's something I don't
Pretty
know.
much.
Hey Fred, I got you on board, mate. Decided to put you in. Got room for one more now.
Yeah.
All right then. Right, Isabel. Okay, I got you in, mate. Welcome aboard. You all right, pal? Yeah, Game and Dan 63. You were very, very confused. Very, very confused.
What?
Like I said, whoever guys, I'm just looking at Game Week Dan 3. Whoever he was, I'm very confused too with him. I think he's baffled.
Did Isabel just
Yes,
give
I saw. I
give us
wasn't
a
going to
bird?
that. I don't know if that was directly to us or was that for Sad Thomas. I don't know.
I don't think I want to know.
If it's who I think that was, to hell with it. All right. So, anyways, let's just get back to what we were really here for, okay? Because we're nearly done now.
Yeah.
Just have to take a quick break, and is that okay? I'm not putting you back in. Sorry, pal. Wasn't a. Sorry, pal.
Yeah, let's keep going.
He's left. I think the mid finger was flipped for Sad Thomas. I think it was, and not to us. I don't know. And if his face was who I think it would have been, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Sad
asking, can
Thomas,
I
you said you
join?
want to join after all that shit you laid into me. God, you have got some guts of steel to say that. But yeah, I'm sorry, pal.
Yeah, that is not
63, you wanna join
happening.
in? Hey, Gamer Dan 63, do you want to join in? There's room for one more.
How much can
Yeah.
you fit?
I can only have 6 guys in here with me.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, back to where I was, because this is where we get the build up to the best of, because the editing that followed on afterwards got a little bit difficult. Because I tried to go to an extreme level of this. Here we go.
Thomas, I'm sorry. I had no idea the drain was going to flood that much. It's fine, Ben. You're not to blame. Bible said that was a rare occurrence. Yes, it was. It doesn't usually flood that much. Not at this time of the year during the autumn season, unlike it was back in 1988.
See, that was a reference to the down the drain again.
Yeah.
And don't worry, that's not Mr. Zorro either.
Wait, who?
Big Titanic jokes.
As nighttime came, the rain turned into a drizzle, which
Yep.
allowed Bill and Ben to work on the other side of the pipe pits to try and sort out some trucks that had been mixed up with another train. Meanwhile, Thomas was dozing in the shed as the sound of thunder echoed off in the distance.
Again, I was using some new sound effects in
Half an
there.
hour later, the late shower grew worse.
I
as
thought he's
thunder
like going back to his home.
Huh.
Thomas started to fall asleep, but it wouldn't be for long. He suddenly felt very cold and uneasy, as he could sense the presence of someone in the area before the faint sounding of an unfamiliar whistle echoed in the distance. Followed by
I mean, he didn't recognize the whistle from his dream?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh, that's the Georgetown Loop 111 whistle.
Huh. I'm surprised he didn't recognize the whistle from his dream.
Apparently, in the fanfic version, it would have been like rating more thicker and it'd be more darker, so he wouldn't have been able to have seen.
Yeah.
being very brief,
Unless it was like too faint for him to really tell.
Basically, at this point, Thomas would have died at this point.
Hello? Who's there? Whoever you are, show yourself.
At this point, I really was happy. I really was very happy of how this turned in because I never thought I would do this kind of like effect that happened afterwards, and I was really impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
With
mean,
the
I know the
faded
audience.
or the sounds.
Yeah, how this all came, how 311 appeared. Like, I was thinking, why didn't I do that in the others? Otherwise, I'm like, holy shit, I would have been just jump scaring everybody to death each time. So I thought I'd just try this once and see how this would go. And I was like really impressed. You know, I really was.
Oh my god.
There she is.
Hello there, little
And Thomas would be like, holy shit, I'm dead.
No.
One
No
of the
way.
characters, it'd be one of the characters who look like they could swear.
Yeah, but it was like, in Thomas's mind, it was like, holy shit, she's right in front of me. Where am I going to go?
That's when 311 said, hello there, little engine. Why does that sound like a reference when Obi-Wan says, hello there?
It was not a Star Wars reference. No.
God.
It was not a Star Wars reference. I can grant you
that. Would have been funny, though.
Is that where that meme came from?
Yeah. Hello there.
Oh my god.
Yep, and Thomas was really going to die. But no.
But nope, she changed her mind.
Oh, did she? Yep, he's very close. But again, you can tell how scared shit he is on her.
Yeah.
How do you even do the red steam? on
was
an
clever.
engine.
I just adapted the color over it. It was very easy.
Mm.
It's supposed to
Damn.
resemble, again, the smoke is to resemble the souls of those she killed over the years and blood red of hatred. So again, it's
Yeah.
supposed to resemble steam blood mostly.
So, you're such a small engine.
I wonder if the steam smells like blood.
That's what it's intended. Of course,
I mean, blood smells like metal.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
meant to, is that what a demonic female voice sounds like then?
It would have been if you watch anime. Anyways, again, the whole thing is with this afterwards. Again, wherever 311 goes in this form, you remember what Florence Gossman said. It was like
Yeah.
he left like it was like a very horrible stench of smoke and oil. It basically
Yeah.
almost like, well, combined with that to a human being, it would be like rotting dead flesh and thick blood or whatever. So it's like leaving a smear
Yeah.
trail of on a much gorier scale. That's what would happen if in an ordinary ghost form, you wouldn't have noticed.
Isabel K is saying goodbye.
Wait, you want to get going, Tommy?
No, Isabel K said goodbye.
Oh, and he's got a demon look on
That
his
person
face.
was disrespectful.
Yeah, that guy, whoever it is. I don't know who this guy is.
Just an attention seeker. Average intellectual.
Hang on, look. He's revealed who he is.
Who the heck is Muffin?
Wow.
Damn.
I just didn't. I didn't know.
That's who I think it is. That dude who hates us or not, I don't know.
Anyway, sorry about me taking a bit.
That's what happens with this modern generation. They don't respect.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was going after as well. Or
Sad
whatever.
Thomas, you are not joining.
Sorry,
You
pal.
Just suck it up.
Dude, just please.
Again, yeah. Again, Gamer Dan 63. You don't worry. I was the same way when I first started using StreamYard. It does take a while to get used to, but don't worry about it. Like I said, if you ever do, you can always learn from it, though. Like I said,
Fair point.
I was the same way in his position when I did that once.
Yeah. Aw, Sad Thomas is gonna smack all of us. Like
Dude.
he's
Oh
so
hell
powerful.
no! Oh
Sad
hell
Thomas,
no!
I bet you
No
can't pull
no
up
no
my
no! Hell
IP
no!
address.
Dude, I have no idea what your issue is, mate, but I'm not going to tolerate it. I've tried to be reasonable with you, so sorry, mate.
Hey,
Goodbye.
Sad Thomas, come and get us, boy.
Oh,
Come and get us.
dude, chill, homie, chill.
Yeah, I'm just messing with
Again, he's not gonna do anything. I'm positive about that. The thing is, I deal with these guys all the time.
I don't want to be beat up by a little midget.
I'm not too sure. Like I said, Isabella Kell, I'm not too sure because I'm not sure about putting Isabel K back in again. I need to know who the heck that guy is. Hang on. I need to have a look. Hang on, lads. I'm sorry if we're going a little off here, but again, this is Rudy.
Does anyone actually understand what he said? You know, I want to make y'all because that won't be inappropriate. Oh, won't say me, please. Man speaking
That
fast.
literally
Like,
committed.
not gonna lie, man speaking fast.
I don't think Jesus would accept you for committing that kind of sins. That is.
Don't talk about that stuff either, lads. Not on my streams. That's illegal.
Jesus put himself on the cross because of Sad Thomas. He said, nah, bro.
Well, pretty much Jesus got put in the cross because I can't remember those names.
Poor Creeper Boy. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Creeper Boy. This is getting kind of out of hand.
It is getting slightly out of hand, although, like I said,
We're out of buffers since, ghost trains.
Yeah.
I'm not funny.
just gonna see who the hell this guy is. That's strange, I can't find this dude. So it is.
You know what? I bet I could recreate a scene from Clinchfield Curse or something like that. I bet I could.
You could give it a try. You know what? You know something? I'm sorry about this. I'm just gonna have to deal with this. Unblocking is about okay. I'm not having that. You know what? It was good that he popped in, but then I think when I saw his face, I kind of flipped because I was thinking, is that who I think it is? Because it might have been someone I remembered.
Oh yeah.
God damn.
Again, I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry, said Thomas. Listen, pal. You can try Billis all you like. You can, I'm telling you, you're just trying to ruin everybody in the chat who are trying to have a good time and join this special Halloween throwback. Now you've kind of ruined the mood, pal.
Yep, ruined the mood.
Trolls are
I thought it was
trolls, don't let
Thomas who
anybody get
ruined it.
attention.
That's what I mean. Sorry, said Thomas boy. I'm gonna have to remove you. I'm sorry, pal. There's no point talking big bad or whatever it is. I'm sorry, pal. You're gone. I'm sorry, but there's no point.
Don't be sorry because he was killing the mood.
I would try, but try and be respectful. But the fact is, I'm not going to tolerate whoever it is behind there because that's just wrong. Because
Exactly.
all of us are trying to have a good time here. We're all trying to reminisce on a special review, and it's just because it's just one of those things where you just wish you didn't have to.
A fair point.
What the hell? Now that is something we will not have.
Oh no, please, we're not going to that man.
I'm
Yeah, you can't blame us for that. That's
I'm just gonna look.
I'm sorry for saying this, but if this is like going over Bosher Studios' history again, god damn, his rating is pretty much a curse upon us.
Like I said before,
I'm just saying that guy. The thing is, he absolutely cannot blame us. Like
the fact is, like I said, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that because that is just horrible. That's horrible, man.
Yep. That is
wait, so are you guys just reviewing, like revisiting Clinchfield Curse, or like just Clinchfield Curse, or Timothy too?
I think it was just.
You're right. It does actually. It does. Speaking of which, while we're doing that, do you want to so far with this whole throwback, Wesley 05 and Tommy Trains? Would you like to tell me your opinions so far about how about this film and how you remembered it from back then when it first came out, like so far to where we are now, just to pass the time before we continue onwards?
Yeah.
What?
So when I first watched this, I was really hyped to see it because it was really exciting to see the sequel to the Untold Story of Timothy.
Wesley, your microphone's acting up.
Oh. Whoop.
Your mic's acting up.
Oh. Oops.
It was working fine, and then all of a sudden it started acting a bit funny.
Huh. Never had that happen before.
And now it's going normal now.
There we go. So yeah. So anyway, hopefully it's all good now. But anyway, when I first watched this film, I was really excited to see it because it's like back when I was first watching the Untold Story of Timothy, it's something that legit scared me, and I really like to revisit it. And the Clinchfield Curse is something that is something I was really wanting to see. And
Indeed.
man, did this film deliver. So yeah. Well done to everyone involved in the production.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's normal.
Ooh. So yeah.
Yeah, let's continue on, mate. Like I said, oof. Again, we're taking a quick break, and then we can continue on afterwards. I think we'll do one more afterwards, and then we'll call it off.
Yeah.
Sorry about this, Thomas Tank. You're done, pal. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see what you just wrote, because it really actually, let's just say I am a little upset that you think that way. But don't blame us if you do. I'm sorry, pal, but we're not going to be responsible. So, unfortunately,
you're gone.
Pains me to do it that you're done. Not even the good Lord above can save you. So just go. Just go. I'm going to give you. Actually, you know what? I'll give you one last chance. Okay. Give you one last chance. Go and leave us in peace. Okay. Because we're not worthy of your time anymore.
No, we are
Again,
not.
sorry if I'm talking a bit deeply there, lads. It's because.
Yeah, that's fine if you're being serious.
Okay. Now I've got. Okay, I think I have a good hunch who it is now. He's trying to sabotage. Trying to piss us all off here, mate. This is not going to go. I'm sorry, man.
All right. I'm gonna be right back. Give me just a bit.
Yeah, I do apologize if you can hear Fred coughing. He's really, really got bad cough. I do apologize if that is kind of distracting for you, but it's just unfortunate. Ah. Just trying to catch my breath there. Hang on.
Yeah. You're good, man. You're good.
Cheers, man. Anyways, I'll look. Do you know what I'm going to do at first? I'll try and just continue on because this dude, whoever I think it is, I think I might know who it is. He's just trying to really ruin this.
Yeah. Trolls.
So let's just continue on with. Yeah, let's just continue on. And
yes, please.
Let's just try and let's just try it. All right.
Yeah.
Again, Gamer Dan 63 is definitely very confused at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna. You know something? I'm not gonna bother with this anymore. I'm just really gonna I'm sorry, mate. I don't care if you're Sad Thomas or Sad Percy or any name you want to go yourself by.
Whoever the hell you are. Sorry, I cut you off.
I don't really give a damn who you are behind that thing. If you're using anything else, I don't really care. Look, give me one last chance. Look, you make me want to make a decision I don't really want to do. Please, dude, just go and leave us alone, please.
Yes, leave us in peace.
Just
please.
Just go.
Sorry for my absence.
We're none of your time anymore. So just go away and leave us in peace, pal. You've got a better life to do than just to come here and mess things all up. Honestly, you really.
Uh-huh.
I'm not trying to say you're making us feel uneasy, but let's just say the fact is that whoever you are, who I might think you could be behind there, I don't want to,
Kind
put
of.
anyone.
It's kind of
Anyways,
frustrating.
back to what we're trying to do here again.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I will spare you.
I will have to admit, though, the special effects putting in here was very difficult because, that's another reason why this film took a long while to do. But I will
Yeah.
say it was worth it. And again, that jump scare at the beginning, I was going to consist doing that a lot, but I was a bit concerned about people who might suffer from photolepsy or whatever it could be. So I just gave it one
Yeah.
time, and I was very impressed how it turned out.
Yeah.
However, little number one,
We will meet again.
time.
So enjoy your time, relax.
I'm back.
That's the Sierra Railway 24 whistle.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was loud.
Do you want to now? Here's something that you didn't know. That took me about roughly 3 attempts on that one to get it correct. Where the other one was just did it in one go. With this one, took a bit to get it perfectly.
Oh.
So did you guys hear what I said? That was the Sierra Railway 24 whistle.
It did,
Cool.
yes. And
Thomas opened his eyes,
he's
seeing that
traumatized.
the horrible banshee was gone,
Mhm.
leaving nothing but a strong stench of oil and smoke in her wake.
Thomas the traumatized tank engine.
Yes, he basically came so close to death. He had no idea. Again, he's
Yeah.
very lucky.
Both of them looking very
But also, the smell that 311 leaves behind, it's like, where does that come from?
It's what the Americans have, It's a horrible stench of oil and smoke. It's much dirtier than diesel oil. It's basically
It's pretty much like the fish smell. When you go to market
it's
for
worse
the
than fish, mate. Honestly, I'll give you a little hint. It basically comes from American steam engines who are basically oil burners.
Oh,
like
smells
Bash,
like
Dash, and
burning
Ferdinand,
oil.
and
You know,
Timothy. Not the
like the engines that like oil burners and what the Americans do. It's much
Oh.
horrible when it's in terms of like what 311 had.
Oh.
If it was like coal or whatever it would have been an ordinary smell. But with oil and smoke combined, not like in 311s or whatever, but it's definitely on. Yeah, it's not like the same type of oil that you would grease an engine's pistons or sidewalls with either.
Yeah.
Or did you hear another engine in the pits? We did. But how can that be? Besides, the drain is flooded.
Then the twins could smell something.
Bill, was Boko here earlier today? Diesels don't have whistles, Ben. Then
Diseasels.
oil. And
Coughs and sneezels spread diseasels.
Yep, and it's and this stench, the smell, it sounds like diesel oil.
this stench is really strong.
Even they can smell the stench that Freelan's left behind, but they have no idea that there was a guy.
They have no idea how close Thomas was to death.
They don't even know that, but they can smell that horrible stench.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. That's the only clue that can hint that she's been around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does the smell actually go away?
What'd you say?
Or does the smell ever go away, or is it always,
It
or is
would.
it still there?
It would, yeah, but it doesn't matter how long it is. It's just a bad stench,
Yeah.
Thomas, did you hear anything?
Yep, Thomas is traumatized, man. He came so close to death.
Yeah.
Thomas,
He was like,
are you okay?
Thomas was too horrified to reply, but he was a very lucky
I
man.
bet if it was possible, his jaw would be touching the ballast of the rails.
The engine could have only come from the deepest
Yeah,
depths of
out of all the engines, Thomas was the closest to have the encounter.
yeah, being the number one engine.
If that had happened, Timothy would have been, he would have had his peace, I guess. But it didn't happen.
Yeah. And Timothy was pretty pissed off.
And 311's like,
I
yes.
would love a combination of Timothy.
Is that
and
the best
Clinchfield
female
laugh.
demonic voice there is?
I mean, the actress did all she could.
But she's found who the engines are. Basically, she's planning to do something even bigger, I guess. Maybe that's why she's spared Thomas or whatnot. So we don't know what's going through 311's mind by that point. Anything could have gone on.
Yeah.
Yes, Creepy Boy 90. If you want to join in, I've got room for one more. If you want to join us.
I thought the
So
StreamYard limit was 10 people.
no, at mine I can only have 6 guys in.
I see.
There you go. Again, I'm doing my best to ignore this, but at the same time, this is just,
It's kind of hard.
it is difficult, but at the same time, it is upsetting to know that there are people out there who just want to cause nothing but idiots. If only there was a way that could be tamed.
Yeah.
Like, it should be accepted. It will never get anything. Anyways, that was the
Part 11.
climax build of Thomas's near demise, and this is where things get a little intriguing, because at this point I picked up and forgotten about most of the Americans. We do pick up later on, and then we find, and then this is the part in part 11 where we find out that 411 actually had an identity. We just didn't know.
I can't wait
It's
if we get to part 14.
It's just that the mystery surrounding the engine begins to shed some light.
Yeah.
Like, we're slowly
Also,
understanding.
what do you think of Diesel D199's take on Timothy?
I loved it. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Me too.
My face.
Sarcasm.
My horrible demon face.
It was almost.
Ow.
It's
It
like
was
he
comedy.
was.
It was basically comedy. It was basically ghost comedy at its best. But I liked how he said, like, he was an early design, and then it was like he was pulling the Midnight Branch Express or whatever. So that was quite intriguing.
The voice
I
is
honestly like to see a trains model of Timothy with that kind of face, without the like not really wrinkly.
It did work. I will admit.
I guess the voice for Timothy in that should
Can you
be
at
him.
least just leave?
It
I'm
should
sorry.
Be his voice should be in his first evil.
Oh,
mode.
not again!
And now so now he's saying he's not trolling us. Okay.
Guys, I think that Timothy voice should be him in his first evil mode.
Probably, although it wouldn't have beaten my voice character.
And for
Okay,
Merit
good.
Trainboy, also in this first evil mode. Merit Trainboy's
God.
take.
We don't want to, dude, that's not good. Okay.
I
Look,
have a question. I have a question.
If you're saying you're not trolling us, then why are you continuing to change your name and you're trying to get us angry, mate? Just leave. Yes, Fred, what do you want?
What time was Clinchfield Curse set around in?
Well, like in nowadays, it was set in 2017.
Really?
Yeah, if you go and read, watching, I think it was in part 1 or 2-ish, the bigger engine says, Freeland's been trapped on this mountain for 59 years. And so if you take that back, go backwards to then, it would have been 1957, which would have marked 60 years.
I see.
1957 is when it happened, when the accident occurred. So add 60 years on, it would have been in 2017. That's what you saw. I think this here gives you a hint.
The power of man.
Was. Yeah. Okay. This is the morning of the anniversary. This is the morning of the anniversary, actually.
Yep.
There we are. See, and that's on the day. That's the day of 60 years on, like in the morning, where we finally made it to the day of it.
I don't know if anyone has this when Timothy was on screen earlier, but how does Timothy know about 311?
Well, as you know, ghosts are known to wander around and they'll hear anything.
He's not gonna stop until he gets Thomas, isn't he?
Yeah, he thinks Thomas he still believes 311 Could have got, but the thing is, we know near the end he didn't get what he hoped he thought.
Yeah.
Basically off camera, he was kind of watching. Perhaps.
Oh, he was
And that's-
watching from the shadows.
I also have another question.
Indeed, maybe he was.
Kane,
Jesus Christ, James, man, if you really do hate your life or whatever, don't blame us. Blame yourself, pal. Just go and bugger
Yeah.
off. I'm sorry, mate. You're finished. I've given you a last chance to leave peacefully, but you blew it.
Yep.
So
This reminds me
you're
of that
done.
one of those kids.
Yep. He
I know
squandered
who.
it.
I've got a funny feeling I know who it is.
Fred was asking a question.
Yes, Fred?
did you try to make a Star Wars reference in the dream sequence? Because it was kind of similar in Empire Strikes Back.
No. It wasn't. Although, technically, in a way, I did go a little Darth Vader-ish on Timothy because you know the bit where he changes from red eyes to normal? That was kind of like dark side Anakin Skywalker to ordinary. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I was going a little Darth Vader-ish, but it wasn't too Star Warsy either. But
Yeah.
you can see the reference I was trying to build with his character,
Yeah.
as if he has split personality almost.
I mean, that is kind of true because his demon side and his normal side.
He's basically like a good guy that kind of turned bad in a way. Like he's conflicted in the afterlife. Anyways,
Yep.
let's just get this done with, mate. Because sorry about that, lads. Forget you didn't see that. My battery's running low. Gotta get my charger in. When we do like part 4, hopefully will be the final because that's where all the emotions
Where it all
and
goes down.
that's where the emotions and all the secrets come out of 311's life, and so we're gonna build up to this point if that's all right with you guys. You don't mind?
Yeah.
Please don't end the stream without me. I really love that part.
Don't worry, we will get to that when we get part 4 ready. Don't worry, lads. Anyways, this is when we discover that 311 had an identity.
Yep.
Just what type though?
So, 311's on Sodor, is she?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she is.
Are the eyes are the
Why is
shovels?
she here? What does she want?
It's Marianne.
More importantly, how do you know her?
I'm Marianne, one of Miss Jenny's vehicles. But as for why
And
she...
no, that is not an eye on the bucket.
Yeah, I used to think that was an eye too as well. I was like, oh, I guess not. That gets me to this very day. I don't know why.
Tell me about her,
It
please.
reminds me of a Bob the Builder character.
No,
I remember that show.
no,
I apologize.
it's not.
I
Bob the
apologize. I apologize.
I remember that show.
I grew up with that, man. Oh my god. Now why am I visioning a Bob the Builder, Thomas the Tank Engine mashup? Oh my god.
Oh man, I think once
Now why am I thinking of the guys who did the infamous badass guitaring and singing that when music was back then? Imagine they did that with Thomas and Friends in the exact
Creeper
same
Boy
way.
here.
That would be insane.
I mean, there was a crossover of the BBC Children in Need.
Well, today is we are currently celebrating 100 years of the BBC. Okay, Creepy Boy number 9. Oh, let's get you in. Let's see who you... Oh, yeah, okay. Just double checking. And welcome aboard, Creepy Boy 90.
Hi.
Welcome.
Nice to see you in, mate. How are you coping?
Doing good.
Again, thanks for sticking up for us, mate. I appreciate the support, pal.
You're welcome.
Again, I just really had to do it anyway. I've got a funny thing. I know who that dude was anyway. I have a bad... I got an idea of who... Anyways. Yeah, I was reading the lines. I was thinking, I wonder if it's him.
Back in America, when the Clinchfield Railroad was starting to expand, I heard of how other engines weren't exactly treating her very well. I was one of the vehicles that helped build parts of the railroad, including one particular bridge.
The one she fell off.
Yep.
The very same one. Anyway, I remember it very well the day I met her.
In this one here, I was gonna go into like either a cinnamon screen or golden or back in the day, but I was thinking What if I just keep it in color? Like we're going back into Marianne's memory at this point.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, there's Dan from San Juan making a cameo along with a young Anthony. Yeah.
The year was 1953.
There we are, and of course, there's number 3985 masquerading as a Clinchfield loco, making another cameo.
The line had been completed, but the one piece left to put in was the bridge. Marianne was in the yard, but she heard the sound of a large engine chucking in.
I'm not gonna lie, this whole putting this bit together was again very easy and had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Of course, the music and dialogue in this was well timed. Like there was a nice pace and rhythm.
Excuse me, are you okay?
I'm just fine, thank you very much. Why would a steam shovel even know about the troubles of a steam engine anyway?
I'm just asking a
Well,
question.
dang.
Pardon? Pardon, lads?
I didn't say anything.
Ain't no need to
What
be
would they even know about a steam in any way?
Listen, 311.
That's why I said, well,
Oh,
dang.
that
I thought that was kind of rude.
As you can see, it's the Harlan lumber mill. So again, it's somewhere down near the bottom of on ground level.
And there was Highland Valley.
Yeah, that's where they're at. Where at this point, you know, the CSW had a shared contract with the Harlan Valley and Logging Mining Company, so two railroads working together, and 311 was assigned on both of them.
I could imagine like they could be working with the tugs.
It's funny actually because in the Highland Lumber Company, 311 didn't have too much of an issue regarding any minor accidents.
Transfer to another. We'll go and chuff off a bridge. There's no room for
Off of a bridge. I mean, that kind of happened, but not intentionally.
Yeah, and of course
Is he begging for suicide?
Yeah, and that Canadian guy said that 311 was a Jinx killer. Jeez, it's not her fault. She
Harsh. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not
very harsh.
Yes, I know. There were just some engines who were literally scared to death of her. He was one of them.
She's been with Jinx like Boomer.
What's going on here? Why do they do this?
I have no idea. Maybe it's due to my natural existence. But either way, nobody here really gives a rusty axle for me.
I'm not gonna lie. When I put the sound effects in later, I heard Liz saying there was like no one gives a rusty axle over her, like 311's character. But when I put the sound effects over, it's almost like 311 accidentally swore, like she said ASS instead. Jesus, but not really. I know it sounds like it as well, but not really.
Was she about to swear?
I know, but it wasn't.
Well, I beg your pardon there.
But then again, if I ever did a reboot with this, there would definitely be it would be rated a bit out for an older generation. I can guarantee you that.
Now, you listen here, sugar. There ain't no reason to have that sort of attitude.
Again, Mr. Ortez did a hell of a good job as Marianne. It's one of his favorite characters he grew up watching with, and I soon caught up with this. I thought this was really refreshing. And again, he knows how to talk as a female character, and I'm not gonna lie, it was just hilariously awesome. I'm not gonna. That's just how I looked at it.
Every machine's built for a reason. I'm built for digging up ditches and helping to build railroads, for example. That's what steam shovels are for. You, being
Marion can confirm.
you can do heavier jobs than an old machine like me can't. Deep down, 311 knew she was right. Every machine was built for a purpose. It might take a while, but even she would find hers someday.
Even though she didn't know who she was back in the Fresno era, she knew her place then. But I guess in this time, with all problem, she lost where she was.
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't find herself in her own place at this point. Who knows?
Thank you very much. I needed a little pick-me-up after today. You know, I never did catch your name.
Marianne's the name and digging for railroads is my game.
I just love that line. Mary Ann's a name and digging for railroads is my game.
Yeah.
That really stuck in my head for a while when I heard that. I don't know where it came from. But then again, it may have come from the book that she was written in. I don't
As a
know.
person who is living in America currently, I can confirm that Americans speak like this.
People from the Western country.
I'm wondering how Marianne ended up on Sodor.
Well,
that's what I was wondering.
She's probably on there for the tour too, or whatever it was.
Well, maybe it was just sent there after for a new career to work for a new home. Who knows? After all, it was Miss Jenny, and from Jack in the Pack may have recruited her.
Yeah.
Maybe Sordor didn't have enough bigger dogs, or whatever.
Perhaps. Who knows?
You got a name, stranger, or do they all call you 311?
I do have a real name. I had to name myself since nobody gave me one officially. It's Jessica.
Jessica. Yeah, Jessica's a really good name for her.
Yep, she does have a name. Nobody just knew her that. She called herself that. She wasn't named officially. And that's what, yes, now we find out she has a name and her number, and it's all, the characteristics of who she was in her quote unquote alive status is coming into play.
Yeah.
A good name, and take my word for it, Jessica. You'll see that one day you'll find your real purpose.
She would have done.
Yeah.
What a story, Marianne. I had no idea you actually met her.
Jessica and I were close friends for a few years. When I found out about the crash, it devastated me. I was left wondering why she did what she did. What was her motive?
She mean to do it.
Why did she end her life in such
For real.
similar to that of your own brother?
Now, how does Marianne know Timothy?
Who knows? The story, perhaps?
Yeah.
Probably Edward.
Chin up, though, Thomas. Things will work out for you next. I can guarantee it.
I mean, legends were being told on the island of Sodor.
Thomas's mind for now.
That's a reference to the first mystery movie.
The mystery of Jessica, also known as Clinchfield 311, and why she had come to Sodor with her alleged curse.
Ah, great.
After his crew got him prepared and fired up, Thomas left the China clay pits.
Hey, how long have you had those puffin songs?
Again, there wasn't much to do in this editing. This one was kind of a bit more easier because the project was getting back on track. And as we progress onwards, hey, Thomas Snow fan, nice to see you. Came back at a good time too. Nice to see you, pal. Again, there was not much to do, and the guys have muted their mics. Oh dear.
Ooh.
So, what do you think, Tommy Train, so far when you remembered seeing this? What do you think now that you were reliving this?
It was really good, most likely. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna say this. I haven't been keeping up to date because you were uploading every day, but I got to some parts.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's getting good so far.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't been keeping up to date, but considering.
Well, if you want to rewatch the other two parts, you can. Because I did leave the links below if you want to catch up with the last two streams you missed out on.
Maybe. When is Halloween gonna start?
Well, that's the day of it in this timeline right now.
Pretty sure it's gonna start on the 31st.
So just ignore the fact that we were using a different route at the time, because it looked like a German route we were using, but it was a custom route that one of my old buddies had done. And again, this version of Soda's in a multi-universe.
Yeah.
It's just like a TV series.
Well, it's kind of like in its own universe. Like you got the real one, the railway series, TVS, and then you got different fan made, and all wrapped into one.
James, I'm sorry. I just
You see, it's like someone else. There's Wilbur, of course, making a cameo just right there.
Yay!
Wait, where is he?
He's right there where my mouse pointer is. He's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the author.
No, Wilbert, I was referring to the engine. Of course, Ariel's there taking one of the commuters. the local services, and then Jason's there, as you can tell, taking his that's basically that's how much he can go for, and of course, you know what he's like with his character. He's not used to pulling passengers, and he always goes at a crawl. He's used to freight, but not passengers. But over time, he does get used to it, and of course, it's in his replica specification that he can go up as just an ordinary passenger rank. He can't go any higher than that.
Yeah.
But despite that, and despite blowing a lot of steam and being the way he is, the passengers do say he's a good rider. A very smooth one, we should say.
People young and old alike would come to dress up in different scary forms of costumes, such as witches, mummies, vampires, and zombies. As the day went on and the countdown for Halloween night began, some of the engines couldn't help but think of 311, for today would mark 60 years since her accident.
Warden, Scotsman, and Tornado.
Yep, doing a triple header from Knapford and dip back or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, this Henry gets a little bit of a limelight, and we get a bit of a reference to his 1935 crash.
Yeah.
That morning, Henry was
Isn't October 31st also Timothy's anniversary or something?
That was way past then.
Oh, okay.
There it is. Here's the location.
What day did Timothy's crash happen?
That's left unknown. It may have happened any time.
Oh.
Anyways, that one thing's for sure, it didn't happen during the winter. I can tell you that. Any cases, there's the location of where Henry had his accident. In 1935, the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Where he nearly
accident with
lost
the
his
flying
life.
kipper.
Yeah, this is where he had it, where he nearly died.
Oh.
On the way, he
Kildane.
of the main line, where he had his infamous accident with the flying kipper in 1935.
Not a day goes by whenever I pass this place. That crash I had almost 80 years ago still remains as a haunting reminder of what can happen on the rails when we can least expect it.
As you can see, that's what going. Henry's like that every time he goes past. He always has that look on his face because he can remember it.
Poor Henry.
He does. It has an effect on him. Like he says, not a day goes by every time he goes past it.
Yeah.
Even if he was to survive and if he was in his old shape, he would still feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm not referring to the two Henrys theory either. If they both felt the same way, well, let's not go that far. But still.
Yeah. We can talk about that.
This is where the Americans get coming out, because I forgot about Luke and Jason. So they, at this point, explain their opinion and their encounter with 311. So then you'll understand.
So how is it that you've not been part of the curse?
I've asked myself that very same question, Mr. Oliver. My only guess is that...
Oh, is that you?
That's not me.
And then there's a toad.
And of course, in the background, you can see Louise is actually taking the flying kipper on Henry's request.
Oh.
Filling in
Lots
for
of
him.
foreshadowing.
Not worry, nothing bad will happen. That's Luke talking there. It's not Todd, he's just calling him Mr. Oliver because he's being manful.
Yeah, I know. It was just a joke.
Related to a class, let alone being a ghost train. I've asked myself that very same question, Mr. Oliver. My only guess is that the ghost train saw that I was not a threat to her or related to her class, let alone being a mountain engine.
Because Luke wasn't going fast, I had to speed up the process, and it was quite cool actually. You can see here, it's in the 70s, and I tried to make it like early colored or whatever it was, like the quality, which is why it looks a bit weird.
I remember my first encounter with 311 like if it were yesterday. It was 1978, a few years after I had been preserved. I was visiting the Clinch Field as part of a Halloween celebration.
Sure enough, when I least expected it, she showed up, and I was terrified. She gave me an icy cold stare before telling me that if I didn't leave the clinch field the following day, she would add me to her curse. I took this threat seriously and responded to her, saying my number was not the same as hers, and that I was leaving anyway. Before I knew it, 311 was gone, leaving me speechless and horrified for my life.
Thomas Waneber to Henry III.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
There's Diesel making a cameo.
There he is.
Devious Diesel.
It's Diesel.
I kept my eyes out for it in case it appeared again. Me too. But since my first encounter with it, I've not seen or heard it. Gordon told me that if any of us saw the ghost train in person, we'd all be lost and consumed. But that's not happened to me, or him, or even Oliver.
All of this reminds me of one tale of what happened to an unfortunate man who met his end at the hands of 311. Certainly wasn't pretty either, and my crew saw it all with their own eyes.
And that's where Jason, in a way, tells his quote-unquote what he knows about it. And why he said, like, you know...
So an alternate story for Timothy is that he was pulling troublesome trucks and not coaches.
And the trucks basically killed him.
Did I
Again,
hear
with
the
Jason
troublesome trucks?
Again, with Jason here, he was just like, you know, how does he know? He's the youngest of the bunch. He's a replica of two classes wrapped into one. And when he says his crew saw it, he means even before he even existed. Like they saw it when they were younger, and then over time they would tell him about it, and that's how he would come to know.
Pretty much.
And then until one unfortunate time when he got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
When Jason was just a younger ranger. He still is, but we don't know when in the 90s he was built. But he
1999.
No, that was the year he encountered it. We don't know when in the 90s though, so that's kept a mystery.
Oh.
Until I can figure out a backstory for him.
Oh, okay.
What happened to him?
Please do tell. Jason took a deep breath and started his story.
Again, the editing in this was, again, very easy. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know some guys took this in and did like a grrr thing because I was using the wrong diesels at the time because this was supposed to be in the 60s. But just keep in mind, we had to use what was available.
Yeah.
Not everything had to be exact to detail, okay?
Yeah.
It was around the time in 1961, after the last major railroad in America, the Norfolk and Western, was dieselized the year before. The era of steam was at an end, and many engines were being sold for scrap or being bought or preserved by...
Of course, you can see there's Louise and there's Luke.
Yeah.
Of course, that at the time was Iowa Stew's old CEO himself.
Yeah.
And this is partially on the railroad where, 311 and the other guys would have all lived in. And I didn't realize at the time, I didn't know where that route was. I just noticed the building over there too, and I don't even know where that comes from, that route.
So is that right on the right? Is that David?
I'm not too sure, but that's definitely not 1218. That's a class A. That's a class AY.
Yeah.
A bit larger than 1218. So
private owners.
It says Y6B there.
Oh.
It's Y6A or whatever it is. Yeah, but yeah.
The workers who took each loco apart showed no respect or any signs of
another
sacrifice
482
the hard service they had given over the years. One of them was on a night shift duty with some other workers. The night was dim, hazy, and cold. As he made his way along the sidings, he came across a loco that he thought was ready for scrapping. He got his blowtorch out and only cut off a handrail when something unexpected happened.
I'm not gonna lie, this part of me doing the dialogue, I had to say a few of those words over again because I was kind of,
I wonder.
my mind a little bit. And at one point where I said the word, it got me had a blowtorch. At one point, belched out and sounded like Darth Vader for a second because I was drinking a fizzy drink. I'm not lying. It was hilarious. I was like, I can't put that in. But this was really good. Again, using my special effects here to their advantage.
The engine let off steam.
The engine let off steam, whistling long and loud at him. The man got scared as he looked up at the mammoth, its headlight shining blood red, right at him before he heard its voice.
You fool. Now you must die!
Yep. Again,
This one reminds me of animation I've seen years ago called The Engine Breaker, where Alfred pretty much killed an engineer.
I remember that!
Yeah, me too.
I remember it, but that wasn't related. Again, as you noticed, when Jason said it's blood red, basically, just 311 was not fully in demon form because you can tell he was she was using her normal whistle and spoke normal.
Yeah.
You could say she was kind of transforming into it at that point.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Heard its voice.
Now you must die.
Oh my god.
Firemen were new and young back then, and they were looking for jobs.
That's Jason's soon-to-be driving fireman, what they were back then.
Yeah. Clearly.
What they saw was most horrifying. They called the cops and the local sheriff and only found the remains of a burn mark and a scrapper's blowtorch. But then one of the cops saw a note, a picture of the lost man with only a number. 3, 1, 1.
How can she do that?
It's demon magic, pal.
God damn.
Hey, ghost train
My crew told me
typically
about it.
get hurt or something.
Yep, and that's what attached Jason ever since to it when they told him about it.
That's what's attaching me to the ghost train. The Demon 311 is a bloodthirsty killer. I can remember one encounter 18 years ago in 1999 when I was running on the same line to the Black Wolf logging camp in a rainstorm.
Boo CSX.
That's right, it was then. On the former, I hate to read it. Yeah, nobody likes CXS transportation. I know it. Everyone doesn't like it. But hey, it was.
I do have an engineer's vest of that.
Jesus, and you say boo to it. God dang it! Is that contradicted or something?
Damn it, CSX.
1999, when I was running on the same line to the Black Wolf logging camp in a rainstorm. As I was to enter it, she was there. Her presence was eerie, cold, and bone-chilling. I was too terrified to speak or even blow my whistle in alarm. She said something to me before fading into the unknown.
And we'll never know what 311 said to Jason back then.
Now, with our anniversary upon us, it's only a matter of time before the demon engine strikes once more and claims another soul.
Like, Jason is so convinced that someone's going to die, and that's how traumatized he is about the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like he knows better than everybody else who's going to be conflicted, as if he knows and has seen the ordeal.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Manpower. Wow, indeed. Yes, Thomas. I mean, it is a shame when no scrappers show no respect for steam engines who did well over the years.
Yeah.
They just think of them as obsolete.
Oh, I didn't know he went.
Well, he did.
I didn't know that. Sorry about that. Hey, my old buddy Jim's here. Hey, Jim. Nice to see you.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's all right. You got to the part where, well, you've watched the other bits and bobs, but we did have a little bit of a hiccup, but we may have sorted that out, haven't we, lads?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had some. Yeah.
I was watching the part where 311 or Jessica killed the man
in the scrapyard. Yeah. When
Yeah.
Jason was telling his backstory of his crew and everything else.
The thing
Okay,
is,
and you did-
that man
and you
had
did-
enough time. Literally had enough time to literally step out of the way.
He was
Yeah, he could have just ran.
He could have done, but he was traumatized after what he was seeing, you know, especially if you got 311's blind line, you know, he was basically blind out that. He couldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was screwed from the start.
Oh, sorry about that, Thomas. I didn't even realize that you had a real identity name. My apologies, dude.
That's all right.
Not you, Thomas. I mean Thomas and I are here. He was with us here.
Oops.
That dude. Again, I apologize about that. Didn't realize.
Oh, I can hear the sound. Just like in part 2.
It is almost. And again, we were trying to do a bit of a season 1 reference there almost.
Also, I've been wondering, why does Thomas use that whistle from the model instead of the whistle from the show?
Well, I don't know. But back in the day, I was used to it in this form, so I felt like, oh, it's Thomas's real life whistle. So again,
I was about to say that he's probably trying to feel like more like real life realism.
Yeah. It's like
like if Sordo's an actual place.
I guess that Thomas actually the whistle that Thomas has, you guys, is the Southern Railway Moncel whistle.
That is true.
I wonder what an E2 whistle sounds like.
Yeah,
Just
we never
search
know
up
what
on
it sounds
YouTube E2 whistle.
And like I said, I kept Edward's whistle like classic, and same thing with Henry, and perhaps with Gordon had kept his ordinary one, but then it changed afterwards. Like I said, at the time, I was still getting used to what the Wester's modeling and whistling at the time. So again, I was trying to blur a little TVS and Railway combined.
Yeah,
After finishing some shunting, Thomas arrived with Annie and Clarabelle to drop off and pick up passengers.
I will admit, even though there's a Cam Scott Soda Workshops and in Clarabelle, I used to believe that they were from Warden and Wester because they just fit so well with the model.
Same.
But no, if only we could. Then again, I don't know if Warden and Wester's ever made any in Clarabelle.
I don't think he has.
Probably not.
It would be quite nice because then he could have done it with Thomas's pack.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. If I remember, you used an older version of Annie and Clarabelle.
Indeed, yeah.
They were like really small. Like
He
really...
did.
Perhaps 311. Despite preserve the steam engine.
But now that those Annie and Clarabelle are around, it literally goes much better with the model.
Yeah, I know the TBS series and the other models were good, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I know they look good in the TV series, but let's just be honest, the Railway series and these versions of them, that's how I look at Annie and Clarabelle by today's standards, even today.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the TVS.
Yeah.
Offered to pick up passengers.
Again, realism.
He told Edward all about what happened at the China clay pits, and the old engine was very surprised.
Perhaps 311. Despite preserve the steam engine so that no diesel or any other machinery can replace us here on Sodor.
That's what Edward's thinking. He's thinking, okay, 311 may not be a bad guy after all. It might be preserving your steam engine so that no diesels can take us. Perhaps. That's what he's thinking.
Maybe she's not a threat like our American visitors first thought.
That's not what I saw, Edward. She was inches from my buffers.
Pippin Emma.
The look on her face was just as creepy as TV's team. When I was face to face with it.
Was that a real HST?
Yes. We didn't use Warden and Westers because at the time I wasn't into them, so we used the old school ones instead. For nostalgia reasons.
I dealt with him.
I love nostalgia.
The war between me and him isn't over.
Thomas was filled with questions floating around in his smoke box.
A war that we won't see because
he and Edward worked together, delivering the last materials and decorations needed for the costume
I don't
parties.
know. I guess we just want to see it happen.
And again, I couldn't help but put Edward's theme in. Again, we need some season nostalgia.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it is.
And to lighten the mood up as well.
Yeah.
Again, that was Yeah, Percy's there doing work track maintenance. Again, we did a season 1 take somewhat.
Is it
Yeah.
supposed to
Wonder
be
if
taking
Timothy
place
keeps-
after the events from the first Ghost Train?
Sort of,
Maybe.
but it wasn't quite. This is in 2017 by this point.
Mm.
It's just doing
Wait,
some
did
other
the whole movie take place in 2015?
Yeah, that would have been 2 years ago.
2 years.
And
okay.
what about Horror and the Kirk Road and Branch? When does that take place?
That was
2016, probably.
That was in between. That was during the events in between 2016 to where we are now at this point.
Called it.
Yeah, it's in between. It was during 2016, but it was done by the following year, so it was just between this timeline here.
Wow.
So you weren't that far off there, Jim. You weren't that far off.
Yeah, not very far off at all.
Clever.
Again, I put part 1, season 1, and then season 2 of the theme of Edward together.
Yeah.
Straight off, and it was just perfect. I will admit I had a lot of fun putting this bit together.
There's the red balloon in the background.
Yeah, the red balloon that no one wants to remember of.
Why? I mean, I kind of like it.
I know, but I mean, it would fly in all directions no matter what routes we were using.
Who cares? It's good for watching. It's good for watching in the background.
Oh, Sierra Railway 24.
Oh no! Don't whistle
Oh
back.
yeah, when Edward answers back.
Yeah, he did. Let's just say.
Oh, so was that 311's point of view?
Yeah,
when-
no.
was that Thomas?
No, we were looking through like an ordinary
Thomas.
camera as we were just going down the track.
Oh.
It was
so
like
that
yellow bus.
So that wasn't from anyone's point of view, but just the
No,
camera?
it wasn't. No, we was going to think of like that could be 311, perhaps like invisibly, but we thought no, let's just do it like an ordinary, like the camera does it, like from the front of the train or somewhat.
Yeah,
You know, and then as you saw, Edward was looking up, so he was obviously listening, and then he basically, what you guys don't know, here's some trivia for you, is that basically 311 saying to Edward, where's, as if,
Yeah, pay attention to what you hear.
like, yeah, it was like where to meet up, where to encounter, and Ed was like whistling back, saying until later or whatever, or as if to say meet us here or something, as if they're basically communicating via whistling.
Yeah.
Only Edward seems to have known, and nobody else notices that. So he basically.
What about Thomas?
Thomas knows, but he would never have the ability to do it.
Oh
yeah.
There was the Sierra Railway 24 whistle again.
Yeah, I know. Basically saying where to meet up, and then Ed was like, he's the only one who will not be afraid to answer back if he needs to.
Yeah.
He has some guts to
Yeah,
answer
that
back.
would have been cool if that was 311's point of view, if she wasn't just invisible. I mean, we also hear the popping noise.
I think it would have made more sense if it was on the other side of the track.
I know it would have done, but again, we were following the same direction as the engines were at that point.
Like, so maybe that was Thomas's point of view.
Yeah,
I wish we could have done, but then it would have could have been. But then again, it could have been just a random camera, and also 311 was also doing a warning as well, like it's the anniversary and anything could have happened as well. So that was another reason why we did that.
It's getting close.
No, it is.
Like it actually is in this month.
I just love that whistle, how Edward does it.
I think that was a bad mistake there, Edward. Now that you answered back, she might come and take you.
She won't, Thomas. I spoke to her before and she spared me. Somewhere left within her there is good and she's looking for redemption. I could see it in her eyes, but she wasn't accepting it. Perhaps a second trial will be enough to make her see sense.
Edward, you're either silly, brave, or as Gordon once said, senile. Do you know that?
Yeah, basically what Thomas said, if you couldn't hear over the audio, he was saying, he said, Edward, you're either silly, brave, or as Gordon once said, senile. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Mhm.
that was a bit of a tribute to Shunter Productions on there. That was again, I had to throw my inspiration on him
Yeah.
because there were some lines that at the time which was so how should I say it was so hilarious that I couldn't let that go. I think what we might do, we could perhaps pause and get ready for part 12 for where it all gets to like real shit gets together. Or we could always prepare and wait for the next time. What do you guys think? Because we have been on for quite
Next time.
All right then.
Yeah, I'm down for next time.
Because I still have my exams. I'm studying my exams.
All right then, guys. I think we might wrap this one up. We've been on for a good 3 hours. It eventually did get a little low, but eventually we made a full house of 6 people.
Yeah.
Even though I joined late.
Despite the shenanigans of what happened earlier on, and thank you guys for tuning in and watching and supporting this whole thing. Again, guys, you know, what can I do without you lads? I mean, you did a grand job. I'm really happy for you. But like I said, as the closer we get to this is where the emotion and all the real tense shit begins to kick in because we're reaching the somewhat climax of the movie.
Please
Sort
don't
of.
start without me.
And then we end up revealing a little bit of a twist at the end and uncovering the final origin of who Jessica 311 was before, which I thought would make a nice. At the time, I thought that would make a very nice twist of like who was she beforehand, like her previous identity.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a review throwback with the other Ghost Train movies?
Well, I would have done.
Probably not.
I would like to have done, but I think the 311 one is the better one out of all of them because I don't have that much to say with the others because I have to go far, far back for that one.
Oh, okay.
But then again, lads, like I said, again, everybody to this day are still giving me some great comments that they remember it growing up with, and some of them are like, they used to be terrified, but they just love rewatching it. And that's good to see newer fans kind of remember it too, and also they kind of like where it's going. And like I said, the movie didn't get any bad results. It was like, okay, it had mixed reviews to positives and then back again. It's just one of those movies that no one, I mean, I can understand the criticism, but again, it was just like how it was just done at the time.
Yeah.
So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this one up. This is Game Fan 701 along with Jim, Creepy Boy number 90, James and Sailor as well, along with Tommy Trains and Wesley 005. So it's been a pleasure having you lads. It's been a pleasure having you lads in. And
it's been a pleasure. Being
I
here.
pretty much left the link to anyone who wants to watch.
I know.
my
I'll
Timothy.
check it out later, Tommy Trains. I'll let you know afterwards. Wesley, if
Glad
you'd
I
like me
got to be in
to,
the
Wesley,
stream.
I'll show you that link at the end when we've wrapped this up. Because remember what I told you earlier about that guy who did that?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm going to show you that afterwards. Then after when we're done. So that being said, guys,
All
get
right.
ready for part 4 might happen tomorrow, or it could happen at any time whenever I need to.
Please next time.
Because we are getting close to Halloween 2022, and I've got to get this review throwback done beforehand. Otherwise, the long black train herself might come and get us.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Which black
I'm
train?
just kidding.
311 or Timothy himself?
Or else Timothy's after you.
Yeah, Timothy could come with her,
Screw that. I might call the Ghostbusters.
They won't be strong enough to retain
No,
them.
no, Tommy Trains. It's not the Ghostbusters.
I apologize.
You need the
It's all right.
You need the
It's all
Ghost
right.
Train Busters.
Oh yeah.
But I have a question. What are you guys
about-
gonna go as for Halloween?
I don't do that very often nowadays.
In my place in the Philippines, we don't do trick or treating.
Yeah,
Well, don't get me wrong, I like Halloween. It's just that the whole trick or treat thing is kind of gone out of style for me.
Yeah.
I still go trick or treating.
Oh, good for you.
Indeed.
The only thing I do on Halloween is just eat candy.
Same.
Yeah, that's
Scary
what the
videos.
tradition is.
Yeah.
Because
Also, I want to say that
if you just have leftover candy, you can just literally eat that.
I got candy.
It was an honor to be in the.
Have you guys heard of Candyman?
I think so. Goddamn Candyman, bro.
Candy.
Say his name 5 times and he'll appear with a rusty hook.
Appear with a rusty hook.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we might wrap this one up, lads. So take care, lads.
Alright.
I'll catch you maybe tomorrow, anyways. But it was awesome having you guys, especially you, Wesley and Jim. Again, I didn't mean for you to be late, but next time you will be aware, won't you?
I think it's because maybe you start
Yeah.
the stream when I'm still asleep.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Maybe you can like start around 7.
All right then, guys. I think we'll fold our tents here. Take care, lads.
All right.
Take care.
Sayonara.
I'll see
Bye-bye.
ya.
Good and peace.
Peace and love forever,
Yeah.
as I like to say.
That's
Yay.